They're two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories of the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming. Join me each and every single week is Sgt McClusky. What's going on, Sarge? 400! 400!
Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, well, first of all, I actually do want to say thank you to everybody who actually has been watching us for this long. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but to watch these two jerks talk on a screen for 2 hours
and to make it talking,
it's just fun. It's just fun. I'm glad I see the same names as I'm going through chat. I see the same names like the whole time, and it's kind of scary though, because I'm adding it up, and I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, how old am I now? So that means some of you are
10 years.
Some of you are as old as I was when we started this thing. That's how old you are now.
Here,
like, oh, yeah.
I don't know if hold on. I don't know if I have it. Let me see if do we have episode, let me see.
Yeah.
We have episode 300 on here. I don't think we do. No, this channel doesn't go past 338. So we would have to go past, I don't know. Do I have, I don't think I do. You have to go to Spotify to go see it. Sarge, I feel like we just did 300, okay? But 300 was 2 years ago.
I mean, 2 years is really not that. Like 2 years ago,
we only do about 40.
Was COVID?
We do about 48 episodes a year, right? About 46 episodes a year. Okay. So it's actually two years and like a couple of months. We did episode 300.
Going on tonight, kids.
What's going on, chat? What's going on, Dave? What's going on, Kuda Papa? What's going on, Argus? Who else are we missing? Dave Rose.
I needed to brace myself for the conversations we're going to have tonight, because we have to put Solomon in a room, we got to put Travis in a room, and we got to put Mo in a room if Mo comes in here tonight, because we need to discuss the divisions issue, or not like immediately, but like that's going to be near the top.
I want to hear what you have to say, because I got my rant out earlier today. For Division. So Generation X Gaming is a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. We do this Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, live right here on YouTube. If you like to watch the past broadcast, you can do so right here for seasons 9 and 10. But if you want to go past that, you got to go way back on the Wayback Machine to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. Any place that podcasts are listened to, you can listen to us. You can watch majority of those. I don't think you can watch, but all audio is there. And that's a lot, man. You could listen to us for literally a year.
Forever.
Right? For a solid year. If you listen to one a day, right? We have way all over that, right? So we're at 400 now.
You just keep it on all the time and just like rest your head and hear us subliminally in your sleep.
Do you remember what we talked about in one of the first shows?
We talked about one of the first shows? Yeah, half of it was Destiny. So I'm pretty sure Destiny was there.
Do you remember the kid with the lightsabers?
Oh, yeah, the kid on the back wall?
The back wall.
Yeah. What about him?
I just wanted to know if you remember
but I don't remember why we looked at him. Why did we look at him is the question.
I forget why we looked at him, but I remember that as one of the things. Yeah, we've talked about, we've gone through. Okay. We've been around so long now doing this show. We literally had a dedicated show our first year talking about The Force Awakens, which is 10 years ago next year, right? It came out Christmas of 2015, like that time frame. So we were a year into the show, right? Force Awakens came out. We had a dedicated Generation X Gaming. Half of the show after like the first hour was all about talking about The Force Awakens and how like god awful it was. 9 years ago.
Why do you have to start off so
That's hat.
Start off so negative with all that.
What's that negative?
Oh,
bringing back memories that we had when we've done the show. I was in a closet. I used to do the show in a closet, literally a walk-in closet. That's where I was.
That's right. You were in the closet.
I was in the closet. That's right. That's right. Chat jokes right at themselves.
It had a good sound thing though, because the sound was good in there.
Yeah, it was all closed around me. I had a green screen behind me, so you couldn't know.
Yeah.
No one knew I was in a closet, right? But the joke was every time I was done streaming, I came out of the closet. Yeah.
But you can only come out of the closet so many times before people stop caring.
Yeah, they stopped caring real quick. Yeah. It was a good. Actually, I think it's my favorite thing because I mean I used to close that door. Boom, quiet. There was so much padding around me. There was no sound. It just evaporated inside the clothes behind me.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna like do something special, but then I thought that if anyone's gonna do something special, they're gonna roast us by putting up videos of our old shows and clips anyway. So that would be good. That's fine.
I don't have the time to do anything special. So
I mean, I have zero time. I'm barely hanging on as it is. I mean, I'm still looking at the box up there. You guys know what I'm talking about. So, it's just sitting there.
Gagard says immediately entered the chat to 30 saying nobody knew I was in the closet. Yeah, but that's a good time to come in. Huh? It could have been better. I was like this.
Let's do the widow peak.
I was shaking the shake weight like this, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Right? And
if you don't believe that was made by a man to make fun of women, the shake weight is hilarious.
You got to do it up in the air like this. Yeah,
hilarious, hilarious.
I learned this.
If you didn't know about the shake weight, you have to look it up, guys, in your spare time. I'm sure you'll understand the joke.
Everyone gave the shake weight as a joke gift to their friends. Like,
to their wives.
Yeah, to their friends also.
To their wives, because you told your girlfriend that she had the little wobble thing here, right? This was always gets them mad. This thing here.
Mokoki is asking everyone in the chat, did everyone go back to watch episode 1 and watch all the episodes before this one? Mm-hmm. If not, you can't watch this. That's right. We're doing the Division season thing. If you didn't watch all the rest, you have to reset and go back to the very beginning and start again. You have to watch all 400 episodes before you can enter into this chat.
yeah. Is it? I forget. Someone look it up. Is it here? Do I have to move it here?
What is that?
Like, I don't know. Count Chocula. Like, is it there or is it right in the middle?
Oh, it's right in the middle. It's right in the middle. It's the peak right in the middle. Yeah.
Right. Let me fix it.
Is that Kingard, I was watching your new video. I haven't got through it all yet. Okay, I got through the first I got up to the part. What you did a joke. Where the fuck was it? I forget where I was. I was about 10 minutes in. I was about 10 minutes into the video. You got a chuckle out of me. All right, so tonight we're going to be talking about games we've been playing, right? We're going to be talking about Star Wars Outlaws. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Sarge watched a 10-minute video. I want to get his thoughts on what he thinks about Star Wars Outlaws. We're going to talk about LEGO Horizon Adventures shows even PlayStation knows growth lies behind their own platform. An opinion piece from industry.biz or gameindustry.biz. We're going to talk about Suicide Squads for a blip for a moment. We're going to talk about Xbox, the showcase. We're going to talk about Summer Game Fest, what your thoughts were, Sarge, about Summer Game Fest and whatnot, any games that you saw that you liked or were interested in. We're going to talk about... We're going to talk about Elden Ring with the DLC coming out. I think it was funny the way they did certain things. We're talking about Dune Awakens, Sarge. I don't know if you know about this, but Dune Awakens, as we talked about it a couple months ago about what the game was, and we went into depth on this show about what we thought and how they're going to pull it off and what it means to be like in the Dune world. I just want to put this out there. It's in a different timeline. Okay, and we'll talk about that when we get there. Yeah,
something's in my eye.
We're going to talk about the Division 2, what they're doing to destroy the game in one fell swoop next season. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Unreal Engine, that it's impossible for it to do native 4K. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk, we have a little surprise at the end about the doom to humanity is what we're going to talk about at the very end. We have another AI thing happening, so we're going to talk about the AI taking over the world. And that's what's on today's show for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast. Goes over a few of the top stories in the past week. Episode 400. Appreciate everyone coming out. Make sure you hit that like button and share it with a friend. Share it with an enemy. Send them that piece of it where I came out of the closet. Right? Just send that to them. Clip that. Put that out there. right? It's Pride Month. Right? Just put it out there. Maybe they'll go, oh wait a minute, he's not coming out of the closet. He's talking about coming out of an actual closet. All right.
You just lost all your LGBTQ fans, Mike. After that.
That's all right. Dave Langer says Avowed has a third-person view. Thank God. Yeah, a lot of people were talking about it, that they showed that one brief clip of that third-person view, and I was like, all right, cool. I like that. Look, you guys know where I stand. I like games that are first-person, third-person. More options, the better, right? I think it should be optional for a lot of the shooters and whatnot. Let me play the game how I want to play. All right, Sarge, let's get to what we've been playing. All right, Sarge. Another week down, another season down, another year down, basically. What have you been playing this past week? Anything new? Anything exciting? First, let's do a Baldur's Gate. I should put another stinger in here. Baldur's Gate 3 update. Has he opened the box? What's in the box?
But we already listen. We've already discussed this. The box is there.
Yeah.
It is opened. It has been opened. Has it been installed and played? No.
Going on. No. We're going on. You waited 3 months to get it, and it's been there for another 3 months. And
but this is
I could have bought it for you this Christmas and gave it to you next Christmas,
or my birthday. You could have given it to me right birthday.
Well, your birthday's coming up, so.
Oh, bro, water. I've got coffee in the cup tonight. So
coffee.
We're gonna have some thoughts. We're gonna have some thoughts tonight. We're gonna have some thoughts because I just fucking know, dude.
I'm sorry. I started laughing at Paul's comment. Says, when did they add all these Star Wars emotes to YouTube? It's in for the Acolyte. They've added it because of the Acolyte, Paul.
It's because of the Acolyte.
Yeah.
And when the Acolyte came out, all those were added.
So what have you been playing this week, Sarge?
All right. So listen, I have my own routine. I have limited time, so I juggle between some games. This week's juggle was a Hell Let Loose Rampage because I saw you
playing that.
I was promoted to squad leader, so I had to train up some people.
Promotion.
Yeah, I was training some people how to play the game. It's a good time. Like I'll say it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. It's the pendulum swings wild when you play a game like that, because if you're in a group that wants to be there and learn and play the game the way it's supposed to be played, everyone jives. Like the first couple days, you have to see if you guys jive together in the squad, right? You know how that works. Not everybody gets along, right? You know how this is. Every time you're hanging out with different people, I'm always the person that just stays quiet and lets everybody talk so they can out themselves. So I know the personality type, so I know how to deal. That's just me. I'm not sure how everybody else handles social situations, but when I'm with new people, I don't say anything. I answer yes and no questions, and I listen to everybody else speak and how they are. Right? That's basically what I do in the game as well.
You got to take a scan of the room.
Yeah, I got to look at the room. You got to look at the room. Right? So, good group. Like, they don't chatter a lot. They just say what they need to say. And then in moments of downtime while we're playing the game, then they joke around. And then when we get near combat, everybody just kind of tightens up and we're back in the zone again. Like, yeah, I love that kind of.
That sounds exactly like when we used to play Battlefield back in the day.
I love that kind of group. It's just a good time, man. It's just a good time.
Right, being serious for that thing is the fun part about playing the game.
But if you put yourself in there, it depends on how you play the game. Like when you play a Call of Duty game, whatever else you're playing, like I don't care, Yahoo, jump off the roof, whatever
Rambo
else.
Go out there.
You can do that here, but the idea is you're taking the calculated risk to do it, but then it offsets your position on the field. So if your guys die, then you lose about 5 minutes and you lose ground. So like you can act like a fool, but what ends up happening is if you're not placed correctly, you basically wasted 5 minutes. Like if it's like we got here and now we're dead, and so that takes us 5 minutes to reestablish the control zone. So yeah, you have to understand. For those of you who don't know me very well, big chess player, big strategy guy, RTS, many years. So like I play everything serious. I play Minecraft serious, right?
He does.
I play Minecraft serious.
He plays it so serious that when his nephew does something,
my nephew's trying to play around.
he's playing around, and
I'm screaming at him. Right? I got to tone it down. I know. I got to tone it down.
He's like, we're farming here. Come on, we gotta get this farm up and running. He's like,
I have no food. I have no food. I'm dying. I have no food. I'm like, you know how to make food? Get food. Let's go. I'm a sweaty Minecraft player. Yeah.
He's got the business. He's like the To be honest though, my son, he's more of the non-worker type. He's the guy that oversees stuff. He's the guy that sits in the room and goes,
he's a suit.
Did you
He's a suit.
Yeah. Did you do that?
Did you do that thing for me?
Did you do that thing over there?
Yeah. Did you do that thing for me?
That's my son. Yeah. Play Farm Simulator with him. You'll understand real fast.
You know what it is, Paul? Back in the day when that actually happened, like I remember the week it happened, and it was all over the internet. The whole Leroy Jenkins thing, and what made it so precious is people who hardcore play WoW knew exactly where they were, knew exactly what that guy did, and knew exactly what that caused. Right? And so like 10%, 20% of the people who saw it immediately knew everything and was dying laughing, and the rest of the people were like, what is this piece of shit? Like, what am I watching? Like, you don't get it. You don't get the joke. It's the old school nerd joke that only the nerds would understand. Right? Hey, shenanigans. I'm wearing your shirt. Thanks for making it. I didn't know you had shirts.
What does it say on your shirt? I can't see it because of the microphone.
It says the Shenanigator.
Uh-huh. The Shenanigator, a Sherman, what is it? I can't read it from...
Yeah, it says the Shenanigator. Noun, a person that instigates shenanigans.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yes.
We didn't know shenanigans was going to be coming here for the...
Guest star, people. Shenanigans. In the chat.
What are the odds?
Welcome, shenanigans, everybody. Give it up for shenanigans.
I have a applause.
Give it up for shenanigans.
I have a applause for shenanigans. Yeah, thank you for
always love when shenanigans shows up.
What's the odds of shenanigans showing up on the 400th show with the shirt that you're wearing a shenanigan?
It's incredible.
It's
never again to be seen.
No,
never again to be seen.
No. There's never going to be another 400th episode. So
no, there's not.
One of a kind.
No. Yep.
Take a snapshot.
So Hell Let Loose, Spice Wars, right? Played again with sweaty people, man. Sweaty. Like, I know one guy had to be at least 55 or 60 because he said very few words, and all he did was use proper English and laugh in italics. He was typing in. He's using like
typing.
He was
using a stenographer. Was he like?
He was sending him messages. He
like Morse code.
Yeah, he's using that. He's using the offset typing where you can actually the words look all kind of italicized. It's hilarious.
He wasn't talking. He was just typing.
Well, you could be in a chat in Discord if you want to be, but who wants to hear that? I don't want to hear shit talking when I'm playing Dune. I just want to play the game.
Dune. I thought you were still playing Hell Let Loose. Got it.
No,
I got you.
No. That would be ridiculous, right? That'd be like even the Dirt League when the guy goes, "You guys suck. You're complete noobs." And he's just typing because he doesn't have he doesn't have a mic.
No.
Yeah, I love that one. That's one of my favorites.
I like the skip.
They always skip because no one
cares.
Stab
and then run. I love it.
Oh, it's like the very beginning one, right?
Yeah.
Where the guy doesn't care.
Yeah,
doesn't care.
Skip, stab, and then runs off to the thing. Yeah,
just stabs the store owner and runs off. Yeah. I actually played Division a little bit more this week because after we played the mission, I was so angry. Right?
After we played,
I played it for a little longer. I was so angry because I'm like, what am I doing?
Well,
it's not a season.
It sounds like you need a new character, Sarge.
No, it's not. I don't need a new character.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, don't bait me because I'm mad already as it is. Don't.
Sounds like you need a new character.
Yeah, no. Let's hear what you played, Mr. Game Boy.
I played real quick. Paul Gaming gifted 1 membership. Thank you very much for the gifted membership. Appreciate that very much.
Love it.
Whiskey meat. I see whiskey in here. I like how it just gives it to people. Like they're like. Maybe a subscriber don't know the last time they were here, but they just put it there. They could be lurking. It doesn't really matter.
Melrose Mike is early. What's this like? It's Armageddon tonight. I got shenanigans in the room. Melrose Mike is early. Come on, man. This is crazy.
So I've been playing.
All the Star Wars emotes is crazy.
I went back and started playing Starfield again because Starfield had the creation kit that came out on Sunday at the Summer Game Fest. They announced the Shattered Space. They showed the Shattered Space, and it actually looked pretty good for the DLC, right? The content that they're coming out with later this year. Okay. Then they showed that the creation kit's coming out, and I went, all right, let me check out the creation kit. So I went over to the creation kit, and the first day it was just a couple of things, right? I would say about maybe 30 items were on there, and I was like, oh, cool. When are they going to add more to this? So I just looked at it Sunday night. Monday, I log on in the afternoon because on Twitter someone goes, they added the Boba Fett mod inside Starfield. I was like, oh, is that in for PC? And I went, oh, it's probably PC. And then they said, no, it's in the creation kit. So I went over to the creation kit and I downloaded the Mandalorian / Boba Fett skin pack. Okay. And
so good.
Let me tell you.
So good.
It completely changed. It's the same fucking Starfield. It's the same Starfield game.
It's just so good.
It's the exact same Starfield game. It hasn't changed. But now I'm the Mandalorian and now I'm Boba Fett. Now I'm taking bounty hunting missions and I'm walking around and I'm like, this feels just better. It feels like I don't care if they canceled the Mandalorian game, right? This is it. I am the Mandalorian, right? And I'm walking around. Okay. And the next day, they added another mod. And I was like, okay. And then today or yesterday, I think it was yesterday, they added where all the NPCs are now Star Wars aliens. So I go into Atlantis, okay? And I start walking and I just stop and I start staring and I'm like, this is great. I'm waiting for one more mod, Sarge. One more mod.
Ships flying around?
Nope, it's the UC mod where all the UC agents turn into the Empire. You'll see stormtroopers walking around. You'll see the Imperial troopers walking around, right? I'm like, this is it, baby. I just need that one more mod. I got ATSTs in the game, okay? I got different mods they add into the game where all of a sudden I have these different random encounters. The Crimson Fleet now is got aliens in there, so now they're not just all humans. They're like humans with like, the same as like Darth Maul walking around. And I'm like, this is amazing. I was like, no difference. Yes. It's still Starfield, right? Starfield, it's just Starfield.
Sure it is.
But now it's a game that I'm like, I don't even care. Like I'm playing the Star Wars game, and it's amazing. And someone just found a lava planet just 3 days ago. Okay, they landed on a planet, and they're like, "Is this Mustafar?" Like it was lava planet, and I was like, "Bro, someone better get it down their ass and make Darth Vader's like base on that planet." Okay, like hit it up, mods. Let's do it, right?
What I find very interesting is the fact that it's Starfield. It's an okay game, got an okay score. People were okay with it, right? But all of a sudden, with all the Star Wars mods, everyone's juiced and now wants to play Starfield because of the mods. Now, my question to you is, if you're someone that didn't buy Starfield originally, right? You didn't buy it. Right? You didn't care for it, wasn't interested. Right? Boring. We heard it, right? You didn't buy it. Now, all of a sudden you wake up one day and there's all these Star Wars mods for it, right? So you, as a player, love Star Wars. We're just saying it's an old school person, loves Star Wars.
Yep.
They go, they get Game Pass. They don't buy Starfield. They get Game Pass. They download Starfield. And before they even put one frame in, they go and they download all the mods for Star Wars and put it in the game. Now, wait.
It's a Star Wars game.
Now you start up the game and you're playing Star Wars modded Starfield from the very beginning.
Very beginning.
Now,
right.
You don't see one frame that was in the game originally.
Of Starfield, right?
Not one frame. Everybody's Star Wars characters, Star Wars, everything. My question to you is, how far do we take this before someone files copyright infringement? Because they bought the game, but really...
But
they never even saw the other game. It's just Star Wars.
I mean, that's a good question because the modders are not charging, right? It's just up there for free.
That's correct.
They could ask them to take it down, I would assume. I mean, they have every right to. They're using something that's not. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, if they don't want to, they have to take it down. I think Star Wars would be idiots, LucasArts, and then would be absolute idiots. To say anything, right? To take it down. right?
Well, but the people who are fucking up Star Wars now would say something. That's their
Sure.
whole point.
Sure.
Well, here's my next thing.
Yep.
Right. So if this game is a Star Wars game,
Dave,
now,
100%. I have the game, and you can 100% use the creation mods on there, and they're all in there. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So now you're playing Starfield as a Star Wars game. So my question to you is this: why, after 10 years, that nobody made a Star Wars game like this?
Right. Well, here's the best part, right?
Now we have Outlaws, possibly
Outlaws looks good.
going to be what this is, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah. Well,
it looks good.
I've been on record when they first showed Outlaws, and this is before Starfield came out. I said when I saw Outlaws for the very first time, I was like, man, that looks good. I was like, that's going to be my Starfield game. I said, unless Starfield gets mods, but I said, I'm playing on console, so I don't think that's going to happen. And lo and behold, here it is, right? I'm playing Star Wars inside Starfield, and I'm like, this is fantastic, right? I'm just enjoying my time, right? I'm starting to build it. Someone built a mod where they have like the TIE fighter, like wings and stuff, like in fuselage and stuff. So you can start building like the actual ships in there. Someone made a Star Trek mod that you can put Star Trek ships and stuff. And like, I always say this, right?
Creativity right in the game.
I think this is cool, and this is not going to talk about the $7 microtransaction that we talked about last night. Go watch that last night. Me and Sarge went in a nice little back and forth last night about this, but I think it's interesting that there's character or people making mods for Starfield that are charging like $5, right? They're like vetted people that make the mods, and they're substantially putting content in the game. And then there's other people putting substantial content in the game. Dialogue lines, actual quest lines, gear, and it's awesome because they're adding more content to this game, right? So I was like, where does this go, right, Sarge? Because I've been saying for the longest time about Starfield that Starfield is going to be multiplayer down the road. I said it's going to be co-op or multiplayer. That's why there's 1,000 planets. But I never even thought about this. I was like, they don't need it. They don't need multiple players to play on the same server. It'd be cool, right? Because it would be badass if, like right now, I have myself, I have Sarah dressed as Bo-Katan, right? So I'm the Mandalorian. She's dressed as Bo-Katan, okay? I got Barrett as the clone trooper, okay? So we're all Star Wars guys on the ship, and I'm like, this is badass. All I need now is to
make the ship into a Star Wars ship,
right? Or change Vasco into R2D2. Right, change R2D2. Vasco is the R2D2.
Vasco just changes into R2D2.
Yeah, that's what they did for the STs. They took the robots and they turned them into ATSTs. It's fantastic.
It's incredible.
So, yeah, basically what I'm saying is this content based on just the community itself. This game could go on forever.
Forever. We said that.
Forever. We said that. Yeah,
we said that.
They can do whatever they want with this.
We said that before the Star Wars mods were out. We said as soon as the mod community starts going, this game could just be sitting here forever.
Yeah, I have right now. I have 37 mods on, and not one of them cost me a dime.
Think about give yourself a minute now. Think how big the galaxy that you have, the amount of planets you could visit, and everybody said like, this is retarded. Why do I need this many planets? And then here's your answer. The answer is this. Because there's Star Wars mods. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right? So I can have my own little corner of the galaxy with all the mods and the planets and stuff on. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So right now I downloaded the Han Solo outfit. I have the Princess Leia outfit. I have the Ahsoka outfit. Right. So I could you could even make your character now.
Isn't your character a male? Why do you have all the female character outfits?
Because you can take them and make them, and then you can give them to your companions.
Oh, give them to your companions.
Right.
I think Andrea can wear a Princess Leia outfit. I think she can pull it off.
That's right.
I think Andrea can wear the Princess Leia outfit.
Yeah. So and then they were so smart when they made the Mandalorian mod that when you first get it, it's just a basic set without the Beskar armor.
Yeah.
But then you go to the workbench and then you can make the Beskar armor and then put it on.
So make the Beskar.
Yeah, you make the Beskar armor and then you put it on.
Right. It's not just a thing. You have to make the Beskar.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
That's because guys who mod games, and I said guys.
They have more passion. They have more passion.
They have more passion about what it is.
Dave Langard says, 30, look at the Fallout London mod upcoming for PC with 100 gigs of space for Xbox mods. Stuff like that would be possible on Xbox. Yeah, it would be amazing if they did something like that, Dave. And I'm actually looking forward to the Fallout London.
The only thing I'm worried about the London thing is because of the new update that there's so much stuff that they have to weed through now to kind of make the mods work. I feel bad for those mods that spend all the time on the Fallout London, but at the same time, even though this is a hiccup and it pushes their timetable back, it just makes them check the game more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, it sucks that you can't play it correctly right away because of all the glitches now, but it just makes them go back and just double check and triple check all the stuff again because they want it to be well. They want it to do well.
If you're Bethesda and all of a sudden you see an uptick happening, right? Everyone's like, all of a sudden, like downloads are happening. Everyone's like, oh, they're using the creation. They go and look at the creation. They're like, no one's playing Starfield. They're playing Star Wars. Would they get mad about that?
Right. What? Right. Would you?
Would you get mad as a developer, or would you be okay that at least they're playing the base of what the game is, the foundation of the game is there? It's behind a curtain of falsehood of Star Wars, right? People are like, oh, we canceled the Mandalorian game. I was like, man, I don't care. I'll just make my own. They're like, oh, we canceled the next Jedi Survivor game. It doesn't matter. We put Cal Kestis in the game. Don't worry about it, right? Now, obviously, the melee is not that good, right? But right now, I can run around with the black blade, okay? All right, and run around, right, the dark blade, right? I can run around with that inside the game. The melee doesn't feel as good because it's still Bethesda janky melee, but...
Point proven right there. Rain Clips said it in chat. He didn't have to say that. He would have just stayed quiet. He could have just stayed quiet.
They could make Vasco R2 or C3PO. This collision box is actually quite small compared to the character. Yeah, I guarantee you they do it. I guarantee you they make Vasco do it.
I'm talking about Brain Clips, not Brainchild, Brain Clips.
Oh, what did Brain Clips say?
He could have stayed quiet, but he typed it. He typed it actually in chat.
Oh, I'm actually thinking about buying. Okay, so Eclipse. I saw last week, I forget the... Level Cap. I was watching him, and he showed the Star Wars mods on PC mods, and I went, oh, I didn't buy Starfield. I didn't buy Starfield. Okay, I didn't buy Starfield. I was given Starfield. Okay, they gave me a code. They gave me the premium thing, and I got Starfield. Okay, now I didn't buy Starfield, and I was like, well, I want to go buy Starfield now for PC because I want to get those mods. And then all of a sudden, they announced it on Sunday that the creation kit is coming out, and I was like, wait a minute, can I get Star Wars mods on? And I didn't think it was going to happen. And then I saw that Mandalorian one, and I was like, wait a minute, I can do mods. So I was thinking about buying the actual game for PC just so I could do it, but now it's on Xbox, and the mods are there, and it's excellent. I'm having a blast playing the exact same game. First of all, I did like Starfield. I know that's a hot topic. A lot of people are like, there's no way someone likes Starfield. I put in 192 hours into Starfield. I enjoyed the quest lines and stuff. I did the main story. Main story is the worst part with the, go around grabbing all the damn things to get your powers. But other than that, the story was decent. The rest of the stories, Crimson Fleet, Vanguard, UC, all that stuff is good storylines and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed that. And now, someone said it earlier, can you imagine that when they start putting Star Wars like esque quests in there? That would be fantastic if they did that, That would be fantastic. I don't know where Sarge went. So that's what I've been playing. I've been playing a lot of Starfield of late, just kind of walking around, adding mods in, doing that type of stuff. It would be fantastic if they added some quest lines in the Star Wars-esque like universe, right? But basically that's what it is, right? I'm a bounty hunter. Do you think it's a little weird? They added the Alliance Tracker, which is a bounty hunter. I mean, they had bounty hunting mission already in the game, right? But they added an actual Alliance Tracker bounty hunter mission, and yet Mandalorian and Boba Fett just happened to come in the creation kit at the same time. Coincidence? I think not.
It just shows that if they would just do Star Wars game correctly, that people would just play and live in that world.
Well,
they just would.
Well, let's go from what we've been playing, because I've just been playing that. I haven't touched Fallout 76. The new update came out for Fallout 76. I haven't touched it yet, but that's out, and I'll talk about that next week. But let's go to top stories. All right, so let's go to the first story of Star Wars Outlaws. Okay, Star Star Wars Outlaws, this just says that Star Wars Outlaws has the same problem every other modern Star Wars thing has. And the guy goes into, oh, you can't see us. Oh, hold on one second. There we are. It just says that it's the same thing. Go here, shoot there, drive this, shoot that. And I hated that. I even said it when I covered the story. I was like, you can say that about any game, right? All you do in Madden is hike the ball, run the ball, hike the ball, throw the ball, right? It's just the same thing. So, right. Baseball is the same. You throw the pitch, you hit the ball, and you run around the bases, right? Call of Duty, all I do is shoot, capture flag, right? I didn't like the way he was talking about it like that. But the game itself, when they first showed it, it looked like, let me bring up actual footage of it, right? It looked so good. It looks like, to me, like a Red Dead Redemption, Witcher type of game where you're going around this open world and you like live in the world. Now, speaking of Division, Massive made this game. Massive made Outlaws, and it looks great. Like we give them props all the time when we play Division 2, right? The layering and the world building of it. Here, let me bring this up. Right? The world building of just the way it looks is awesome, right? Like in here, this first scene that they show is she's playing an arcade game, right? You're playing an arcade game that you can play in the game. This kind of reminds me of like Gwent. Okay, you can play poker games. There's like a handful of games because people played the game, like Skill Up played and other people played. They said that there's actual games, like there's like 5 or 6 games you can play. You can play poker and just sit there and play poker with like Lando or whatever, right?
It's sabacc. It's not poker.
Well, what I'm saying is just gambling games in general, right?
Get on board, bro.
I'm sorry. Right? So just look at the way when you walk around the world. It looks great. Now, people are upset because obviously, would we want Han Solo instead of her? Sure. But they could tell a story with her regardless, right? The depth of this, though, it looks pretty good, right? Even the ship battle where you could leave the ground, it's a cutscene, but it's a transitionless cutscene, right? It looks like you're flying through, and then you go through the clouds, and you go into space, and then you take control again. Everyone's like, that's what Starfield should have done. You know, I'm sure someone will come up with a mod for that, and then you could just, whatever, right? But this looks pretty impressive. I just don't like the business model they have. $70, $110, $130, or $18. So I'm gonna do the $18. I want to play the game for the month. I'm gonna get it, cancel it that same time I get it, and then I'll play it for a month. And look at the detail, man. Just like we go through for Division. And you Division 2, you walk around the world and you're like, holy Christ, look at the layering and stuff like this. It looks good.
It it looks the way I want it to play, but I know that's not saying enough. Like they're showing off exactly what they need to show off in order to entice you to at least give it a try. Right. Now, unfortunately, after being beat up on Star Wars for so long, I can't allow myself to fall victim for the umpteenth time and be like, this is it. This is the game. This is the one. Right? And I'm like, I'll wait. Just like everything else now.
Sure.
I talk myself off the ledge. Like normally I'd be like on the ledge with the hang glider. I'm like, let's go. We're going to play this game. Let's go. And then I'm just like, nah, give it a minute. Let's see what happens. Step back. Coming out, be on there, be fine. Worry. Let's see what happens. Right? There are so many variables in this game that could be tweaked, right? To make me care more about this game than it just being some girl doing something. Like if you're gonna start off as a nobody, I get it.
You're making a name for yourself. You're coming up as you're trying to be a smuggler.
Yes, but you have to remember the ideology of like, oh, well, the Han Solo character is, and like the reasons why he lived as long as he did and didn't get killed, right? A whole lot of luck, right? Yes, he's smart, he's cunning, that kind of thing. But when you're just some person, right? And you think you're going to take on everybody with no abilities, no shields. No, you know what I mean? Like you're just a person. Like when you do a game like this and you're going to pick a nobody, for me, just for me, I would like to see something happen where like you get injured, you get something, like you're not infallible, right?
Right.
But they're
if you
but
can't,
if
it's sort of like a movie game. You know what I mean?
right. If you're not going to give me a hero that I know and you're going to give me a nobody, then you have to make me believe that I've got to be better than the hero and I've got to think better, make better decisions. Otherwise, I can die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everyone likes a survival game. I'm not saying make it a survival game. What I'm saying is you established the character that it's just some person. You're working your way up from nothing. And I'm like, okay, no lightsabers, no jetpack, no special abilities. I'm
Right.
just some person. I get it. But at least sprinkle in some like any minute now you're gonna die. Can you make it? Like give me the thrill about it. Right.
Well, maybe they do. Maybe they do.
I look at this, I look at the transitions, I look at the levels that they have shown, the world building. It looks really good. However, big however, playing it different than looking at it. So I'll wait.
True. Yeah.
I will wait for somebody else to get it. I will watch the guys play it. I want to see how it plays.
The way it looks like the melee. Kinger was bringing it up a little bit. He said that the showcase proved to be dishonest. The combat looked extremely generic. The combat for the guns seems a little off to me. There's just like the laser gun, and there's like the stun guns. There's like blue and red type of thing. The punching, which I thought was actually good and bad in some way, right? So when she's fighting in the footage that we're watching, when it comes up, I said this last year when they first showed this off. I think it's cool the way they captured her to make her look like she's from the 70s, right? Like, I obviously, it's a galaxy far, far away, but Star Wars created in the late 70s, early 80s. And so obviously it has that charm of the late 70s, early 80s, the way they look. And they made her look like she's part of the movie from Empire Strikes Back by that time. You know what I mean? So even when she punches, when she does the punch, remember like when Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones does the punch, he does that movie punch, right? Where it's the big wind up in the back and then it's the pow type of stuff. They do that in this. They do it exactly the same, right? So it's like, it's cheesy, but it's cheesy in a way where it's movie accurate, right? It's movie accurate, which is lore accurate, which is how they would punch in that film back then. You know what I'm saying?
Do they use the same punch sound effect?
It is. Yes, it is the punch. It's the yeah.
That punch sound.
Yeah,
that punch sound.
It's in the thing. It is in the thing. Okay. I think the way the open world is going to feel, a lot of people are going to say this because they say this to a lot of open worlds. There's a whole lot of nothing to do. There's just a lot of open areas and nothing to do, right? So there has to be points of interest to do, right? I don't know. I'm excited about it because of Star Wars, right? And this is why we went from Starfield to this, right? I'm excited about Starfield again because of Star Wars. I'm excited for this because of Star Wars. Is this going to be a good Star Wars game?
I don't think it's going to take long. I really don't. I don't think it's going to take long for them to implement AI technology into gaming, where you take an open world like this, and the AI is able to script an area random on the planet, on one of the planets, script buildings, build them, put a miniature storyline. Right, put a miniature storyline in there, but like it's different for me than for you.
It is for you, right?
So imagine, and I know I'm going off the chart. Well,
they do procedurally generated stuff like that for some games right now.
It's different. Let me finish, right? I know you're going off the world here, off the charts, right? But let's just say everyone's always concerned about, like, do your decisions actually matter, right? So imagine that you picked A, B, C.
That punch right there.
Imagine you go down down that road A, B, C, and then you become so and so's right hand man for this pirate clan, right? And now other locations open up because you're part of that pirate clan, and so missions start appearing that are just there, and the AI constructs the building, constructs the level, put some miniature things, some fetch quests and things to that area for you to go to, and then when you blow up the base, the epic battle scene where you blow up the base gets destroyed, and the next time you go to that planet, it's just a destroyed building, or it's not there anymore, right?
That'd be cool.
Imagine being able to exist in that kind of world where things are always changing, and it's still the same game,
right?
That base is there,
stay the same, yeah.
Right. Like maybe I joined the military, right? I joined the military. I'm in the military for X number of months inside the game. I'm in a war zone against this other faction, and the planet gets destroyed. But in your game, you never joined that faction, and you never went to war, right? So in your game, there is no war on that
Well,
planet. In my game, it's all kind of crazed out, right?
They kind of do that in Starfield.
But this is what I'm telling you. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not going to be long before the open world genre will turn into this thing where it's a giant sandbox and the stories are written by the decisions that you make that are put in the game.
Right, that would be awesome. Right? I mean, I said, they sort of do that in Starfield because I could play the Vanguards and you do a different choice than I do. And then while I'm playing through the game, because I did the Vanguard missions first, people act differently around me than they would you because you didn't do those missions, right? So they kind of do that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is on the fly.
You're saying program. On the fly. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, on the fly program. Yeah, I think it's completely plausible. I mean, things are escalating quickly. Like, I don't think we're going to be waiting that long.
No. Well, even Unreal Engine, which we have a story on, Unreal Engine 5 does the pre-CG generated areas where people can make them. Now, if they can implement that, like you're saying, so all of a sudden, like that.
I mean, she's not. When I look at her, right, I don't care that she's not a hot chick. I don't care about that part. But when I look at her, she looks like she's 80 pounds wet. Like, what are you gonna do? Everybody's tougher than you. You got to give me something with this chick. You got to give me something.
What do you want? Like a psychopathic person? Like
I don't know.
Off the rails?
Maybe when she tries real hard, she's got telekinesis. Like maybe something, right? She can move shit with her head, but like only when your health is only when your willpower is like really full, you can move shit with your like something. She's just some 5'3" girl with a gun. Like you think
Tomb Raider was the same way? Tomb Raider was believable when she did stuff in Tomb Raider.
Lara Croft worked out every day. Lifted weights, trained gymnastics, martial arts.
What I'm saying was,
there's a whole list of shit that Lara Croft did. This chick's just running around drinking beers and flying ships.
So you want to know what her like Pilates schedule is? I don't understand.
I want to know that she at least did Pilates.
Okay, well maybe she did. Maybe we don't know. Okay.
Thank you, Duplis. Thank you. She was built up. A rich bitch who was built up.
You're making a comparison right now to something we don't even know yet, right? That's all I'm saying. You're saying that we don't. This one's not built up. Well, you don't know what the story is yet. You know what Lara Croft's story is because you played the fucking games 3 times.
Well, I haven't even played the game, and I can already tell you her father beat her mother. She got killed in the war. She didn't know how to have a father figure. You know what this is going to be. It's her brother's missing. Classic female heroine type things. That's exactly what's going to end up happening. 3 minutes into the game, you're going to find out either brother, a father, or an uncle who didn't like you or was kidnapped or dead. One or the other. It's just going to come up.
Do you think, and this is just out of nowhere, do you think this character Kay Vess is going to be related to anyone that we know? You're muted. Say something.
I'm muted.
Okay, no, you're not muted. Okay. Do you think Kay Vess is related to someone that we know of from the original trilogy?
I think that maybe halfway through the game, when you're just about to say this game's not good, I don't like it, then they introduce that.
Do you think Kay Vess is her stage name, not like her smuggler name, not her actual name, and she finds out that she's from a different?
Funny you should mention stage names. I was talking to some friends the other day. This is a segue. So, sorry about this, right? And they said that your male stripper name is your first pet's name.
Okay.
And the street you lived on.
Okay, that's a great name.
Right? Think about it.
That's a great name. Yeah.
Hang on. And then your drag name, in case you want to go to drag, right, would be the your pet's first name and what was it? Was it the street or something else? I forgot what it was. So for me, my stripper name is Spunky Litchfield.
Yep, I was the same. Yeah, I would have the same.
Right. So that sounds pretty badass. But my drag name would be Princess Andorra. Which I think is phenomenal.
Where's the 2 names from that one? Oh, from your cat. Yeah, because the cat prince. Right.
Yeah.
So what's your street name?
Yep.
So mine would be Tiger Andorra. That's a hell of a Star Wars name right there.
Yeah, it would be like a Star Wars name.
Yeah, that's a Star Wars name.
Yep.
Tiger Andorra.
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it, Brent. You know they have to build up to that.
Kay Vess is her stripper name. Her real name is Kay Skywalker.
You know they're gonna throw that in there.
Somehow Palpatine's back.
Yeah. Inevitably.
Yeah. Somehow they cloned Palpatine. Yeah.
See, I think that when you do a sci-fi game, though, getting back to what we were talking about, when you do a sci-fi game, the variables for doing a space in a sci-fi game is completely different than just being on the ground and doing a game like that. Like Skyrim versus Cyberpunk or Skyrim versus Starfield, even though it's the same open world thing, the variables that you have are exponentially larger when you can go from planet to planet, different everything.
Right.
Right. Like Skyrim, yeah, there's some biomes, but mostly Skyrim is a cold area. So a lot of snow, mountains, trees. But like when you're in a sci-fi, you give me the opportunity for like Outlaws or Starfield, like I can go to different planets, different biomes, different things. So many more instances of things that can happen to you that gives more meaning for exploration. Right? Like you're looking for these people inside the game, like they explained it, you're looking for these people. Now,
right.
But like,
well, this is a heist mission, right? This is a heist.
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is, if you're gonna make the game where the progression in the game is how many of these interesting sidekick people I'm gonna get to give me skills, that it shouldn't be done in like a week. You know what I mean? Like you want me to play the game, right? Then make it interesting. Like well, I got to find a guy, I got to do a mystery. I don't go talk to one guy, but like, hey, I'm looking for Bob.
But do you want it to be
this? And Bob he goes, yeah, I know Bob. Bob's on planet A, right? And then you just go run over to planet A, and you're on a planet, right? The whole fucking planet, and the place you land and walk in for a drink, the dude's sitting there. Hey, I'm Bob. Like
yeah, there's a balance though. Yeah, there's a balance. I know what you're saying, right? Because we've talked about this. We've talked about this in the past with Skyrim. Right, if you take the marker off of Skyrim, that game is minimum 1,000 hours game because you don't know where the fuck you're going.
But there's road signs. You follow the road.
I understand that. I understand that. But if you took a mission in Skyrim back in the day, or if you did this in Witcher and everything, and you didn't put the marker on to tell you go here, and you're like, that's where I'm going. If you took that off and you just went, you talk to the guy, and the guy goes, you need to go to the town of Wickerdale, and you're like, oh yeah, where's that? You don't know where Wickerdale is yet, right? And then like, right. So now you take the quest, and then you start traveling and exploring, and then all of a sudden you come across a guy and goes, you gotta take me to Wickerdale. And you're like, well, I need a mission there. And they're like, all right, well, let's head over there. I can show you the way.
Let me give you the directions to Wickerdale. Not just go bang. Here's the marker.
Right. There's the marker. Here's the bread. Here's the breadcrumb trails to get there. Right. Like, I get that. Right. But obviously, gamers are like, I don't have fucking time for this. I got a job. I got kids to do. Show me the thing. Skip. And now it's not even skip. It's how much do I have to pay to just get past this?
Get me there.
Yeah, I just want to complete the game. How much? $70 for the game? 130, 400? There you go, 400, and I get a cool skin. I get to play it 3 days early.
What does it take for me to get the AI guy to play for me while I'm working? So when I get back, I got the cool gun already. I don't understand, dude. I don't understand that.
Yeah, so obviously I see what you're saying. That it would be cool to have more an open makes world, you feel like you're in the world.
But in defense of open world games, in the level we're talking about now, I'm not just talking about open world games. Yes, open world games are not supposed to be empty and boring and running around. But what I'm saying is that a open world game is supposed to allow for the variables to happen as you walk across the planet or the city or whatever. That's what makes it interesting. You're not just supposed to follow the marker to whatever you're doing. You're supposed to exist, and then you find things to do that lead you to other places. And then when you get to those places, other things happen. And you say to yourself, do I keep following the thing I started with into this area? Or do I segue myself after I get to this area? That's what keeps it interesting. It's not just, go to planet X. I'm on planet X. Go find guy. I found the guy. He gives you the gun. I got the gun. Go get the guy. Kill with the guy with the gun. I killed the guy with the gun. Like if that's the way it's going to be, then keep your fucking open world game and just give me another Devil May Cry.
Yeah, because it feels open world, but it's really not.
But it's not. Yeah, but it's not. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's go from Star Wars, which I'm excited about getting more. That comes out August 30th. So if you guys are interested in that, obviously Ubisoft wants you to pay $130. But they also want you to get the $18 game or a subscription model. Let's go to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Okay, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. They came out and they're scaling back what they're doing with the game, right? They stopped doing weekly updates. They said that we're only going to talk when we have something to talk about. And they also said that they're going to continue supporting this game for the foreseeable future, meaning they're going to finish out everyone was worried that this game's dead. After season 1, it's dead. I'm like, nah, they're going to continue doing it till the end of the 4 seasons. They're going to do that 1 year. We had Miller on the show, or I had Miller on the show on the podcast, and he said that they had a 20-month plan that could change based on, and this is before the game even came out, said if it does good or however it comes. He goes, but they had a 20-month plan. And they had another plan of even longer if it worked out well, but 20 months was the minimum. So now that's what it looks like it's doing, right? It's the 4 seasons, if that's 12 months, 16 months, whatever it is. But they're still supporting the game, whatever that means, the minimal viable product that they have going on for that. So Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is not shutting down, at least this week. Okay, so that's still going. So you'll get to see all the great characters they're making, like Mrs. Freeze Karen, that's coming out in a July. I think the first week of July is supposed to be dropping. So that's that news. Okay. Other news that we have Lego's Horizon. This comes from industry or gamesindustry.biz. Okay, it's an opinion piece, but he says Lego Horizon's Adventures shows even PlayStation knows growth lies beyond their own platform. Okay, it says the Sony IP of a Nintendo device shows increasingly platform holder efforts to reach new audiences. Okay, so Lego Horizon Adventure was not surprised, as is often case around major debuts. Hints and details leaked out. Obviously, it would have been a huge deal if it wasn't leaked out ahead of time, but because it was leaked out ahead of time, everyone's like, we all knew it was going to happen. Okay, so it says, as far as I can tell, Google such a thing has not occurred in decades, not since a GameIndustry.biz head Christopher Dring reminds that the Wipeout 64, yes, Sony's MLB The Show, is also available for the Switch as well as Xbox, but it's licensed title rather than a property PlayStation owns. Lego Horizon Adventure may not have been the biggest blockbuster with which to open Summer Game Fest, but it perhaps is the most symbolic reveal that's also throughout this year's away. The reason they chose this, Sarge, is that Horizon is one of the most successful franchises or IPs for Sony. So this is why they're pushing it out for like a Legos. And they actually said, and I read a thing today, that they're looking to try to get Halo into like Smash Brothers on the Nintendo, right? They're trying to get that character into that type of game, because this is what they're, and I get what they're trying to do, right? This is one of their brands. And obviously, they're not taking Horizon and putting it on Nintendo, but they're taking the IP, putting it in a different type of format, and then putting it out there for other younger people that are playing Nintendo. Because Nintendo is always given to you at birth, you're born. They go, "Welcome to the planet," and they're like, "Here's your Nintendo," and they hand you a Nintendo. And then when you die, they're like, "We need to take that Nintendo back. Thank you very much." And it's from birth to death.
Somebody else needs it.
Right, birth to death. That's Nintendo, right? Well, what happens when the kids are older and they're done playing Nintendo? They have to go into the next level of gaming, which would be like they're looking for something a little bit more appealing, more adult, right? Well, I played Halo. I played her in Legos. That's a pretty cool game. Oh, there's a game, Horizon, and then they'll go buy a PlayStation. So this is very smart of PlayStation to condition the gamers that are playing now that you can play the game on Nintendo, have fun with it on Nintendo, okay? But once you're done playing Nintendo and you get a little bit older, little Timmy, little Susie, right? Where do you want to play? Are you getting that? Are you going to get the Xbox on Game Pass? Are you going to get our sweet PlayStation, right? With Halo and all the other characters that you've known, right? Because they can make a God of War Lego one now, right? They can make a whole bunch of stuff now and go down this path. So I don't think this is a big deal that they've taken this franchise or IP of this character and made it into that form, right? Now, if it was the shoe was on the other foot, if Halo made a Lego game and then tossed it on Nintendo, Xbox would be shutting down, closed down, chop shop. They're getting rid of everything, right? But Sony does it, and they're like, well, they didn't do it. They forced them. Lego forced them to do it, right? Like Sony's like, we don't want to make money, right? So I think it's funny. I think it's a good move on Sony. I've said it in the past. I think they have to adapt and whatnot. And this is a smart move. This is a very smart move. The way I said it, because I think they're conditioning, going, hey, yeah, I played that game, and then as they get older, they're gonna be like, I'm gonna come over to PlayStation, right? So what do you think of this, Sarge? Do you think this is a good move, bad move with taking the Horizon IP, turning it into Legos? And it wasn't a regular Lego game; it was more of an adventure, like top down, 3/4 type of thing.
To me, it just shows the hypocrisy of how people looked at Sony to begin with, because everybody kept talking about Sony as Sony is PlayStation, PlayStation is Sony. If you want to play a game, you gotta buy a PlayStation. Like, it's this constant box love affair, right? You know it. I know it. Sony knows it. They have to branch out and they have to do something else to where people are playing Sony games, just not on a Sony PlayStation.
Right.
They know that they have to go down that road. Everybody else wants to play this game where it's the box or nothing. And I'm here to tell you, they're all going down the same road, right? You're just going to acknowledge it a little bit later than everybody else will, right? Just like the group of people that acknowledged that Xbox is thinking about Game Pass on the last Game Fest, the last 3 or 4 shows that came out, and everyone was like, I guess they're really doing Game Pass thing, huh?
I'm shocked they're doing Game Pass.
Yeah, they're shocked. They're shocked. Yeah, the answer is they want a bigger market. They want a bigger market. Yeah. And so there are more people that have other items in their pocket or their house that can play these games, so you don't just need the box. And so I think it's a good thing, right? It's probably going to show but they need to figure out how they're going to integrate the PlayStation IPs into other areas where you can see them without having the box. Though there has to be something else that's going to happen.
I think they do it now with Fortnite. They take the characters and put them in Fortnite.
Fortnite. Yep. Fortnite's a big one, right? And I also believe that because that the theater thing. I don't want to segue, but I'm just going to say because of the theater thing. When you're in their theater, they'll advertise things for their games.
Sure. Well, they actually do that now. Like if you go to a movie theater, usually Sony has a commercial for Sony, or Call of Duty has one. Stuff like that.
But there's more and more commercials now.
In their own theaters, they would show off the games for Sony. Absolutely, right?
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of Game Fest, right? Summer Game Fest was on last Friday after the show, and I watched it all weekend. Everyone joined me. We covered the entire thing. I've been streaming every single day. This is our 14th, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th day in a row that we're streaming. So we covered all the shows. Did you see Summer Game Fest live, Sarge? Did you watch it with Keely? I don't know if you were in the chat or did you watch it after the fact? Or?
I didn't watch it. I was at work. I watched some of it. When I got home, I watched the replay of it, but I didn't get to watch all of it. I know some things, but I didn't watch all of it.
Okay. Chat, what did you guys think overall, about Summer Game Fest? Just Keely's Summer Game Fest, the opening show. I thought it was different, right? I thought it was weird. I know he got a lot of shit for getting people off the stage at the Video Game Awards show and stuff like that. Last year, they had a lot more hosts and people come on the stage and whatnot for Summer Game Fest. I thought Keely did fine. I thought the show itself felt a little off to me. It felt kind of rushed for production side, not what they showed for the games. I thought the games were fine as well. Not a major big things that came out. Again, a lot of shit got leaked ahead of time, but overall, I thought the show was decent. I didn't think it was terrible. It was one of the lower shows out there. Did you watch Devolver Digital? Did you see Devolver Digital one?
Yeah,
that one was like I've never seen. The story was more captivating than the games they showed. Like the story that was going on in the background as they were promoting games, like what the next game's coming out, it was shot beautifully. Like it was better shot than things I've watched on Disney Plus from LucasArts. They're putting $180 million behind a budget, right? The actual story of the guy who was holding hostage, and the police officer went. I was like, I'm captivated about what the story is. I don't give a shit about the games. I thought Devolver Digital did a really good show for that perspective, production-wise. Production-wise, for Xbox, they nailed it out of the park, man. They were just boom, 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 and they just constantly showing you stuff. Now, people wanted to see gameplay. They didn't show as much gameplay as I thought they would show.
It's always an issue, though.
You had to watch like State of Decay 3, which we'll talk about in a second. They showed gameplay, but it was like a brief moment of gameplay within the thing. Fable, they showed gameplay, but it was a little bit of gameplay within there. It wasn't like a gameplay like they did for Star Wars Outlaws. It was like gameplay mixed in with like cutscenes, and you couldn't really tell because obviously they take the UI off the screen, so you can't tell if it's like actual gameplay or if it's like in-game engine type of stuff. But some of the games were pretty impressive. South of Midnight, I think it's called, right? It almost looked like that clay animation style type of game, where it also looked like the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse type of animation as well. I thought it was pretty interesting, the way that looks and how she was riding on top of a catfish, and there was like a giant gator and just the animation style. That looks like it's going to be a fun little adventure game. And then Fable, I thought looked pretty good, right?
My whole issue with them now, and I'm talking about across the board for development teams, is that if your game is coming out within 6 months, like it's coming out, right? You gotta show somebody playing the game and just show the mechanics of the game. Like if you are uncomfortable showing the mechanics of the game 6 months before you're releasing, I don't trust you anymore. I just don't. Like I'm trying to be positive about it, right? I'm trying to say, well, they don't want people to get the wrong idea. I keep hearing this wrong idea shit. Like the game is the game, right? Show me the mechanics of your game, right? If you can't do that, then I don't want to buy your game day one anymore, period, right? I would rather Game Pass it or wait for it to come out later on when it's discounted. Like, I don't care. You're 6 months out. Show me it. Show it to me. Because 3 months out, you're just doing testing, right? When you're 3 months out, you're testing. You're not building the game 3 months out.
Right. Well,
so at 6 months, somebody has to have something done. At some point, somebody recorded somebody doing something.
Here's one of the big complaints everyone was saying, that Xbox showed a lot of stuff, but they had no dates, no hard dates for anything. And I think I have an answer why.
Not one date.
Well, I think I have an answer why they don't show a date. You want to hear my answer? Want to take
because
a guess?
they have to own it?
Nope. I don't even think it's them hiding what if they put a date out and it's delayed or anything like that. I honestly don't think it's that. I think it's 100% people get hyped up when they see things, right? They showed Fable, they showed State of Decay 3, they showed South of Midnight, they showed Indiana Jones, they showed Gears. Okay, the next Gears. And they showed no dates for any of this stuff, right? But you're hyped at that moment, right? When you
so blue balls is basically what you gave me.
They get you right up to blue balls. Okay. And the reason they don't show a date is because people are psyched and they want them to get Game Pass now. Because they don't know if it's coming out next month. They don't know if it's coming out 3 months from now. They don't know if it's coming out 6 months from now. And I think that's why they don't show the actual date.
I don't know about that because it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Because when you finally hear a date, you can schedule when you're going to get Game Pass. Like, it doesn't matter.
No, but if they put a date, then they go, oh, well, they're not going to get Game Pass till then because that's when that game comes out. If they don't put a date on there, then they're like, well, when does it come out? They're like, oh, well, let me check out what Game Pass is now for $1, and let me see what games I like on there. And then they get them in there, right? They get them in there early.
I don't know.
There's people that pre-order. There's people that download games that are not even coming out for 3 months from now. They're downloading them right now.
But it's not my fault. It's not my fault that their brain is wired poorly. I don't know what to tell you. I want to sell them the $75,000 Toyota. Right? Those are the same people I would sell a $75,000 Toyota to because they would love to buy it. Like it's just what it is.
Real quick, I want to answer a question. Coulter asked me. He said, "30, you're going to react to Tokyo Game Show in September, a 13-day event." Probably not. If they have anything exciting from there, I'll just talk about it after the fact.
75 gacha games.
Yeah, I'm not going to cover 13-day event.
And a big-breasted blonde anime girls going for 3 days. On a Coke can or whatever the Coke can is in Japan.
Well, if they put a date on it, it could also get delayed. Then people are like, "Oh, see, it's a delay. They lied to us." But if they put no date and you get excited for this, right? People watched Fallout's TV show. They started playing Fallout the game, right? People get hyped up and they want to play it, right? They see a TV show and they're like, "I want to go play that," right? And that's what people get hyped up. You see a trailer for Destiny. You see a trailer for one of the games. You're like, "When's that coming out? I'm gonna get that now," and they do it. They pull the trigger right away because that's the mentality of the stuff, right? Buy now, and then the people forget to cancel. So if you get in now, they can hold you up for 3 months before your game of your choice that you actually got Game Pass 4 comes out, right?
Yeah, but we already had the discussion on dates, though. Like, you, as a development team, you know when your game is done. When you're 3 months out, the game is done. All the last 3 months are, the 2 months is all testing, but the game is done. You know you can give a date. Now, whether they fuck around with the date...
Because they give you a fucking date anyway, because when the game comes out, it's still broke, buggy, and unfinished.
But this is my point. They pick a day. They know when their game is done.
Sure.
The whole moving around the days has got to do with who they're competing with, right? Is it the end of the quarter, the financial quarter, the end of the year quarter? It's all these other factors. When they push a game back, it's not just because it's broken. Like, that's on, like, the list on number 12, right? who we up against? Is it the quarter? What is coming out now? What like sales numbers? And then somewhere near the bottom of that list is like, is the game still working? No. Well, we could just patch it. Just go ahead and put it on there. Like that's not a factor anymore because you just patch it.
The next topic I want to talk about Gears, the E-Day trailer, right? In-game engine. They showed it. I don't care about it looked good, right?
Lazy.
But what do you think about the prequel? What do you think about it, Sarge?
Listen, I'm not putting down Gears. I love the series. Right? I love the series. I played up to three or four. I think 4 was my last one. Right? I'll be honest with you. I think a prequel is lazy.
I do too.
Because they know there's a good population base of this IP waiting for another Gears. But when you do a prequel, you have zero drama.
Right.
Your writing team doesn't have to worry about anything because they can write whatever they want. They don't even have to try.
They're filling in the gaps is basically what they're doing.
Right. You can just make up whatever you want because you already know where the story is going. So it's easy for them.
No drama.
So for them, it's easy money, less stress on the writers, and we just give the kids something to play with.
Right.
Because they like Gears.
The entire time.
They like Gears. Put it out there. They like Gears.
The entire time, I'm like, okay, well, I know when Dom dies. Right. Like, there's so. No matter what Marcus and Dom do during that time,
there's no drama.
There's no drama. There's no death. There's no story progression there, right? I mean, unless they start, unless it's like a dream sequence, right? Unless it's not a prequel, unless it's like a story told in the present day, but they're doing flashbacks, and then you're playing that moments of the flashbacks during E-Day, and he's telling a story to the future kid.
Still a prequel.
I know it's still a prequel, but what I'm saying, I don't know how they make it. How they make it more impactful, right?
Like you almost had me when I was watching the guy kick the crap out of him. I'm like, this is it. This is the one where he finally dies. For real this time. He finally dies. And I'm like, wait a minute. He looks like he's a little kid that just got out of school.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's when they first started getting attacked. I was like, oh, it's a prequel.
The difference, Nate, for Red Dead Redemption is Red Dead Redemption doesn't revolve around John Marston, right? It doesn't. Right? It's Arthur Morgan. It's a completely different character that you're following. This is the Gears series, and you're following Marcus and Dom, who you've played through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not only at the end, after you play John Marston at the very end, which is going into the prequel of what Red Dead Redemption 1 was. Okay? So it's a completely different, right? You could say, well, how did Red Dead Redemption? It's a prequel. Yeah, but it's a completely different story. Obviously, if we were John Marston, we'd be like, well, I know what happens, right? There'd be no drama, but you're with Arthur Morgan and you have no idea what the story is with him and the gang that he's in, right? It's a completely different, that's a bad take to bring up an example for Red Dead Redemption. Completely different. Right?
I mean, I thought there a couple games that did a prequel, like did it well, right? Like I liked ODST. Right? I like that. I liked Vice City Stories that was done before Vice City that was on the handheld, but then they ported it over to the actual PlayStation after. Right? So like you got to see Vice City before Tommy Vercetti got there.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Like so it was all done with the characters.
Different character. Right, different character though.
Right. So it's done well. But Gears is a big deal for a lot of people because let's face it, let's be honest now. Gears is the last IP Xbox has that they didn't shit on.
Right.
Right? It's the last IP that they didn't shit on. And so I guarantee that they are scared shitless of fucking it up since they've got nothing left, since they ripped Halo off the box and put Starfield on instead, which is not even theirs. It is because they bought them, but not their own. Right? So they're so scared about fucking it up, they decided to, let's just do a prequel. It'd be easy on everybody, and the kids will like another Gears game.
Sure.
Win. It's a win, right? So yeah, I get it. Is it going to be fun? I'm pretty sure it'll be fun. It's a Gears game, right?
Paul, you're the tone that they're going back to the horror stuff. That's great because I remember playing the first Gears and being like, "Man, this is."
I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. Water. It's Reach. I apologize. Reach.
Right. Reach. Them going back to that horror tone. I love that they're doing that. I just think it's weird that they're doing. And again, maybe they're doing a prequel, but it's a prequel and they're doing it in some sort of way where you're in the future, and maybe, again, this is my story brain, like, we're doing a mission in Gears, the next Gears, E-Day, and there's a mission going on, and they're like, come on, let's go. And then all of a sudden it's a close up of and he remembers a thing, and then it goes back to that moment. And now you're playing Marcus and Dom as they're together inside that mission.
You're playing a game inside of a flashback.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of as far as how to move a story where they tell them stories in the past. You're in control of Marcus and them when they're younger, and then all of a sudden it flashes forward to something. I don't know. I'm just saying something because I just don't see any kind of. Anytime they do a prequel for a movie or anything like that, and it's a prequel, you're like, okay, well, great. I know how he makes it because he dies in movie 6. So I don't care what happens in 1, 2, and 3. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to be horrible, but when you're looking at a game to play, like especially when you're this deep into the series, like you want a crescendo, you want an ending, just finish it out, be smart about it, and finish it out. If you want to kill off some people and end the game in some biblical way, and it all goes to hell, but the last minute the guy saves the world, like in every other 80s movie we've ever seen when we were growing up, or 90s kid when you were growing up, like that's fine.
Right.
It's completely fine. But don't limp in and like try to make some other kind of game. It's like, yeah, we're gonna give him this for now, we'll think about doing something else later down the road. We got too much Game Pass to worry about, so we're gonna just throw this game out there. I'm like, come on, guys, right? Just do it justice. Make a Gears game and end it. It's cool, it's okay.
This
right
is...
You pissed away Halo. You pissed away the other games, right? At least take something that you created from scratch and end it a good way. End it. It's cool,
Paul. But you could have taken this story from E-Day and told it from a different perspective, right? And you could have come across Marcus and Dom, but you're not controlling Marcus and Dom, right? You're controlling somebody else in that fight of E-Day, because then like, does your character survive? Right? Does the character that you're using survive? Because we know that Marcus and Dom survive, right? I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Look, I'll play it. You know why? Does anybody know why? Why am I going to play it, Sarge? Why am I going to play the next Gears of War? Everyone knows the answer.
Game Pass.
That's right. It's on Game Pass. Okay. So Phil Spencer came out and kind of hinted towards the handheld that everyone else was like, the handheld's coming, the handheld's coming, the handheld's coming. And then in an interview with Brian McCaffrey, he kind of beat it around the bush. He's like, so you like playing games on the handheld? And Phil Spencer's like, you want a handheld? He's like, you want a handheld? Yeah, let's do a handheld, right? And everyone's like, Phil said it. We're doing a handheld, right? And I'm like, well, he didn't really say we're doing a handheld. He just says he's just looking for a way.
Say no.
Right? He didn't say no. That's absolutely right. So they're probably working on a handheld.
Didn't say no.
Right? But he was talking about how he has a ROG, he has a Steam Deck, he has all his handhelds, different things. And he wants a game where they could play. He mentioned a handheld should play local games, meaning the games will be locally. It won't be on the cloud, but they also want to do everything else. So we'll see what happens there. And that's basically all he said about the handheld. One of the other things he said was that they doubled down, Sarge. They tripled down. They quadrupled down. Everything was Game Pass. Game Pass.
Everything.
Game Pass. And I can state confidently here that since 2019, before the game or Xbox came out and it was Xbox Series X and Series S, I said that they've changed their plan and they're going all in on Game Pass. And I've been saying this, beating this drum. You've been agreeing with me, beating the drum, and it's Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. Everybody around the globe is like, Microsoft is done. They can't do it. They're doing this. There's no way this is happening. They're done. They can't make consoles anymore. They're not doing this. And all of a sudden they come out here and they go, yeah, we're doing Game Pass. Everything you see here is on Game Pass. Game Pass, that game, that's on Game Pass. This is on Game Pass. That's on Game Pass. That game is on Game Pass. Everything's on Game Pass. Third-party game, that's on Game Pass, right? Game Pass, Call of Duty on Game Pass. Everyone's like, well, I'm shocked. I can't believe they said that everything's on Game Pass. And I'm like, have you been listening to the fucking words that have been coming out of these guys' mouths for, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years? He even says in the interview, when he talked about it, he said, I think like 4 or 5 years ago, he's like, I said that we wanted all more places and more screens and Game Pass. And everyone's like, I can't believe it's Game Pass. What do you make of this, Sarge? Do you think they had wax in their ears and they didn't hear it? Or are they just making their own shit up? Right? I wasn't making shit up. I was basing it off of what they said they were going to do, which is Game Pass.
It's not that I didn't believe them originally. It's that I didn't know the sacrifices they were going to have to make in order to put those games, and it's quite a bit, onto Game Pass and make them viable for those studios, right? Like maybe they've been saving money every month and putting it into an account and then figuring out what they need to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not just they're blowing through $400 million a month. You know, I'm sure they're putting money away on the side to say, okay, this is the next batch of games that are going to come out. What is their development cost? What do we need to bring back in? What's going to be our monthly take for those months? And do we get more Game Pass subscribers during those months to factor it in? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
these are the things they're weighing out.
Yeah.
So when you have that kind of lineup, it says to me that there's some serious deals going on. And so now, me being the guy who just doesn't care about the game, I care about the people making the game. I'm trying to go back now and look at the names of the studios that made those games and see if they're going to still be around after they come out on Game Pass. You know what I mean?
Well,
like they're set up to have release these games, and those studios are working for now.
Well, they're also getting paid. If it's a third-party game, they're getting contracts up front for a chunk of the change of what the game is, right?
I got it, but
and then they're selling the game everywhere else, so those are fine. The first-party titles.
But this is what we don't know. Like, I don't know the games that are in Game Pass, if they're going to PlayStation or they're going someplace else.
The third-party games that come onto Game Pass are also going to other platforms. Okay, then the first-party games that they have, those are that they're underneath the umbrella of Xbox, right? So they're not paying for that game to come onto Game Pass. They own the company, and they're like, you're putting it on Game Pass, right? So they've already been paid for it and whatnot. So Microsoft is taking those games. They don't have to split the profits for anybody. They literally own the company, and they're just taking it all and putting it on the Game Pass. Call of Duty, Dave Langer says it could blow up in their face, and I'm over here going, how? How can this blow up in the face when the majority of people that play Call of Duty are on PC and PlayStation? Okay, that's still the same. The majority of the population that plays Call of Duty for all these years are on PC and PlayStation, and the rest are on Xbox. Okay, so Xbox now owns the company,
which now they don't have to actually buy the game; they just get Game Pass. So basically,
Correct.
It's their version of Outlaws. Get on
right.
to Ubi.
So
Plus
Xbox,
the game.
Xbox, which is only 25 million people that are on Xbox, or 30 million people that have Game Pass. Great, those people don't have to pay for, if they want to, they don't have to pay. They just pay for Game Pass. They play Call of Duty. Everybody else that's on PlayStation still has to pay $70. Everybody else that's on PC, if they don't have a Game Pass, has to pay $70. And you got to remember, there's a wild card in this, okay? And the wild card is Warzone. Warzone is a free-to-play port of Call of Duty. And before, Call of Duty was by itself, okay? And to get that onto your systems, you had to pay Activision to get that money. Well, now Xbox owns Activision, so they don't have to pay shit to nobody because they own the company, and then they can put it out there. So all the microtransactions that come in now, $1 billion a month, okay, or whatever it is, they said 100 million people play Call of Duty across, okay, every month. 100 million people play Call of Duty every month. Active users,
Warzone.
Okay?
Talk about Warzone.
No, just Call of Duty, whatever it is. Game mode, Warzone, doesn't matter. 100 million people play Call of Duty every month. Okay? That's money that comes to Xbox's pocket now, or Microsoft's pocket. They don't care. This is the best decision they've ever done, in my opinion, because the people that weren't interested, like myself, I haven't bought a Call of Duty in over a decade. 2009 is the last time I purchased a Call of Duty from Activision. I still don't have to purchase a Call of Duty from Activision or Microsoft. I already have Game Pass, and I will play my first campaign since 2009, and I don't have to give them an extra penny because I'm already giving them the money to play Game Pass for what it is, right? So people that haven't touched Call of Duty, that own an Xbox, can now play the campaign if they're at the higher tiers. Okay, you can't play it on the core, okay, which is another thing, but you can now play that game, and everybody else that was paying for it is still paying for it. They don't lose out on any of that cash, and the people that the subsidization is that they own the company now. So they're just making that money from the majority of the population that already played Call of Duty. So I don't think it's going to blow up in their face. Let's see. Because those are few sales you got on PC and Xbox are no longer getting the sales for. They never got those sales for those originally. You understand? They didn't own the company before. Now they own the company. Okay? So all the money that's coming from there, whatever it is, the people that are not paying for an Xbox and now are on Call of Duty, they're making Warzone cash now. Right? There's an online world that people don't have to pay for the game, and all those microtransactions come into Microsoft's pocket. That's the difference. When they didn't own the company, microtransactions were going in Activision's pocket. But now Microsoft owns them, and those microtransactions now go into Microsoft's pocket. Yep. Right? So there's that, and then we have, I think you can see here. Okay, Phil Spencer says a play on words here. Okay, he says right now we have more Xbox console users than we've ever had in the history of Xbox. All right, that number is about to grow after today's show. Okay, now obviously, how many years has Xbox been out?
He's adding up all the Xboxes.
Of course he is, right? Of course he is, right?
He's adding up all the Xboxes.
The claim is Xbox console users, okay? Meaning if you owned a 360, if you own an Xbox One, if you own a Series S, if you own a Series X, because obviously he can't just be talking about, right? He's talking about Game Pass as well, right? But console users.
The number. Yeah, because we already know the number.
Right, the number is 23 million or 25 million consoles that are out now. We know for a fact that's half of what Xbox One was, right? 58. And we know 360, 86 million or 82 million or whatever it was. So there's no way, again, the quote is, right now we have more Xbox console users than we ever had in history. Well, no shit.
Because you're adding them all up.
Right, because you're adding them all up. And of course...
Whatever they currently have in their house and happen to turn on every once in a while, they get that data. I'm like, he's got an Xbox.
Right.
They count that.
I don't know if you know this, Sarge, but right now we have more viewers that have ever watched any of our content on episode 400 than ever before. Well, no shit. We have 400 episodes, and those people watch those episodes, so I have more people that have ever watched our show before right now. Of course. Yeah, ever. Yeah, ever. Okay. Another thing they said, there was another interview, a quick soundbite. He said our cloud gaming is growing 50% year over year for the last few years. Okay, cloud gaming is growing 50% for the year over year for the last few years. Okay, so if they had one person, then they had two. And then went from 2 people to 4. Whatever that is.
I'm pretty sure it's more.
Yeah, I know. Whatever that is that it's doubled 50%. Then it went 50%. Right. That's pretty damn good for a cloud game that no one likes to play or is trying. Right, because no one wants to play games on a phone or any other screen or on the Samsung television set. So that's impressive as well. So these are just sound bites that he put out there in certain interviews. Kindred says, if I said users, and then there also are counting accounts regardless of activity. Example, but he said consoles. The actual quote is, right now we have more Xbox console users than ever before. Well, no shit. You got the Xbox, you got the Xbox 360, you got the Xbox One, you got the Xbox whatever, right? So,
yeah, we get it. I got it.
So
but that's why you have to always pay attention to the words they use. Don't just be like, "Oh my god, it's incredible!
Yeah.
Those guys,
amazing.
There's so many people playing Xbox. It's incredible."
Okay, then accounts have the history of logging into an Xbox. Well, you could have an account and not have a console. That's why the key word there is console, because if you could have a Game Pass account but you don't have a console, right? So that's the big thing, right? So, all right. Speaking of numbers, I thought this was interesting, Sarge. Okay, so Elden Ring's DLC is coming out, right? Elden Ring's DLC is coming out.
This fiasco. It's a fiasco.
So the Elden Ring, it says, here's a friendly PSA. Okay, now for Shadows of, how do you pronounce that? Is Erdtree? Shadows of the Erdtree? Erdtree?
There's an A in there. There's no A, but there's an A in there.
Erdtree. Okay, so Shadows of Erdtree. Only 39% of Elden Ring players have beaten the optional boss necessary to reach the DLC. So they've decided, okay, that to take the content. Now, obviously, FromSoft, this is one of their most popular games they've ever created. Okay, like literally financially, they sold 25 million copies of Elden Ring. Okay, 25 million copies. All the other games that they've sold have never come close to what Elden Ring was. This opened up their games to the broader audience. Okay, so a lot of people play this. Myself, I have like 58 or 62 hours in the game. I never beat this boss. So if I bought the DLC, I would have to go beat the boss before I go play this. 25 million people bought it. 39% of the player base actually beat this optional boss. What do you think of this, Sarge? Is this a good idea, bad idea? Is this a get good idea? Like, what is happening here with this DLC?
Well, there's the factors that lead up to the moment, right? So factor number 1 is Elden Ring is a specific type of game that's geared towards specific type of players who like that kind of combat, who like that kind of challenge, right? So only a specific percentage of people are going to go through Elden Ring and beat all the bosses because they like the game that much to want to take the time to learn to beat all the bosses, right? So those people have no problem looking at the commercial or looking at the trailer and saying, "Oh, cool, this is the DLC coming out." And if you killed this guy, I'm not sure if they actually said it or it was just implied, but that particular boss is dead, so you can actually play the DLC. Now, for the other people, and I'll just keep using the same phrase, guys, and I don't mean anything negative about it. I'm just calling it like I see it. The filthy casuals who play games like Elden Ring because their friends told them to play Elden Ring, so they play a little bit of it. They learn some bosses, they throw controllers at other ones, and so they don't care. And then when they find out that a DLC is coming out, maybe they get the little tingling that they want to play it again, but then they find out that they have to kill this boss in order to get it. So now two things happen. Either you didn't kill the boss the first time, you didn't know about it, and you didn't care, so it doesn't matter to you.
Right.
Or a different percentage of people who like Elden Ring,
right, we'll go back
who stopped playing it, will go back to beat that boss, engage on that game again, just so they can get to the DLC. So it's like a little bit of like a roadblock with a toll plaza, right? It's like, so you want to come in, you got to get this. And they're like, well, yes or no. So either you're going to do it, you don't care, you're going to do it, right? But not everybody will do it.
Yeah, the way I look at it, there's 25 million people, and again, this is the most popular game they've ever sold, right? Usually, the game sells like 6, 8, 10 million, right? Now they have 25 million. Now they've taken the 39%, which I would say, call it hardcore, call it diehard fans or whatever. That's 8 to 10 million people that can do it, that own the actual game, right? So if the DLC sells for $40 and they sell to 8 to 10 million people, I think it's fine.
That's fine.
Right, I think it's fine.
Fine to them.
Because 8 to 10 million copies of that is a phenomenal feat for a game, let alone an expansion to a game.
That's correct.
Right.
Now, if you look at it the other way, you can say to yourself, well, that's just kind of scummy. That didn't have to build. Well, it's part of the lore of the game. They decided for whatever kind of story they made up. It's not like they came out and said, listen, if you didn't beat all 50 bosses, you don't get to play. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like no one did that.
They're saying,
if you don't
beat this boss. Right. You don't even have to beat the game. You just have to beat the side guy for this content. Right.
That's it.
Yeah. I think it's fine. I do. I don't think this is bad. This is, to me, sort of like playing a game where you go to end game content, right? If you've been playing the game and you enjoy the game, then you can go to the end game content for the DLC. Like, for instance, Warlords of New York, right? You couldn't play that until you beat the regular game, and then you would have to beat the regular game to go into Warlords of New York. Now, obviously, it's not behind one boss, so you have to beat this boss, but technically it is. It's like beat the game and then move into the next content, right?
Right. You could call the end of the game as the boss needed to get to the next level.
Correct.
It's the same thing. It's
the
same thing.
It's the end game type of stuff for this, and people that enjoy the game, then they're going to play the game and get to this thing. And right now, maybe you didn't beat the boss. Maybe you didn't even know about the boss. I didn't even know about the side boss, okay? Maybe I'm interested, and now people in my community, obviously not, even if I wasn't a streamer, I could call a friend up, right? First and his brother played this a lot. I could be like, hey, I want to go beat this boss or whatever. And they'd be like, all right, let's go do it, right? So it builds up this like community again to help people go get this boss, right? Leading up to the actual DLC to get more people, right? What's that guy? He hate me? No. What was that? What was the guy with the pot on his head that was going around helping and helping everybody in Elden Ring?
The pothead guy.
Yeah, but I forget what his name is.
Pothead.
No, it wasn't Pothead.
I know. I know what you're talking about.
Yes, he's naked. He's just got a ball on his head. Yeah,
right. He just got a pot on his head.
I forget. Yeah. Let me solo her. That's it. Thank you. Right. So he's coming out of retirement. Right. He's gonna come back into the game and be like, who needs help to get to the DLC? Let's do this. Right. And I think that's cool. Right. So I personally am not mad about this. This gets me back in the game if I was interested in the game to go beat this boss, and then I get to pay. Look, if you go to play Destiny and you got to beat a raid so you can get a $200 fucking jacket, you could go beat a game and pay $40 to go play the DLC. Do you know what I mean?
It's the same neighborhood, right? What I find interesting about Let Me Solo Her is the fact that he proves that the mechanics of the game are there. The armor is meaningless. The armor is meaningless.
Right. It's all about
being
patient.
You learn the game,
block,
if you learn
dodge,
the game, and you block and dodge, you don't even need armor.
Yeah.
And that says a lot about the game because all the armor you're buying and getting is basically for the people that don't have good timing, don't have good tempo, can't dodge correctly. So those are like your safety valves in order for you to pass the boss. Meanwhile, the guy who understands gaming is naked and wins.
Yeah, no, Kuda Papa, I know he's a streamer now. I'm just saying, like, coming out of retirement because like the game's been like gone now. Now it's coming back, so he'll have more light on him because the DLC is coming out. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, Solar Her is a effing Elden Ring legend. The version of I love watching those clips. Right? People are like, can you help me? And he comes in, just solos. You watch the person just back up and just watch them solo. It's fantastic.
But if you think about it, that's a really cool mechanic. That you're in your own game and you're stepping back from the boss fight to let somebody else fight it for you, but you're still in the game. Right?
Yeah.
That's weird. It's a strange mechanic.
Yeah, it's cool. Right. So I think this is fine. I don't think this is a bad thing for the DLC to be hidden behind. Another thing I want to talk about, Sarge. We have two stories that we could talk about here that could take a little bit of time, right? We got Dune Awakening and we have Division. Which one would you like to talk to first?
Well, we could do Dune Awakening really quick.
Okay. So
we can knock that one out.
We talked about Dune Awakening.
Hang on.
Yeah, we talked about Dune Awakening on the show in depth about how are they going to do this game, because we didn't know much about it a couple months ago, right? They just showed us the thing. We went, well, this is pretty cool. How are they going to make this an MMO? How are they going to follow the story? How are they going to do this? How are you going to do survival? How are they going to do the lore of Dune? They have different biomes. We're like, that's not the thing, right? And now it's a thing. And we're like, well, how is that a thing? And now we find out why it's a thing, okay? It's a thing because it's a different timeline. It's a different timeline. It's just the IP of Dune. And Atreus is now in a dream state, and it's like takes place in a different time frame. Now, I am not a huge Dune fan. I like Dune, but I'm not a... Are they called Dune heads? I have no idea. Okay. Sarge is a much bigger fan of Dune to me. So I give the stage to Sarge. What does this mean to you, Sarge, as far as this game is not a Dune MMO taking place in the Dune universe, per se? It's a Dune game taking place in an alternate timeline, like the multiverses in Marvel, or a what-if moment.
I'll be honest with you. I think it's just the writer's way of being allowed to do what they're doing for you not to think that it's going to be boring after a time, right? Like, if you understand the Dune universe, it's about that planet. It's about that planet.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
Right.
So now if you're making a survival game on that planet, I know the biome. It's called desert. Right? It's not
Surprise!
it's not called Deep Forest Galactic, where you have a bunch of woods, you can cut down trees. It's a desert. The whole political scheme, everything about the game is about that planet, the desert. Now, if you're going to make other things and you're going to call it Dream World and you're going to make up all these other reasons of why those things exist on a planet that doesn't exist, that those things don't exist on at all, it's just the lazy way of getting out of it to use the Dune IP for a survival game and then wash your hands of the stuff that doesn't make sense because it's a dream. Right? So is it tolerable? Sure. Do I believe that game is going to succeed? Not a chance in hell.
I think it will. I think it will succeed, but not a massive, sort of like what Ark and Conan type of game.
I'll give you 2 million, 3 million people tops. I'll give you enough people that want to that like the IP, like survival games, and I'll give it a shot. No problem. Give it a shot.
Let me throw my hat in the ring here for a second, right? Because obviously, at the beginning of the show, we talked about Starfield, right? And Starfield, I'm enjoying myself in Starfield because now it's a Star Wars game, right? Obviously, it's not a Star Wars game; it's a Starfield game with mods and stuff on it. Now, the Dune is an MMO for Dune, but it's not really in the Dune universe anymore. It's a fanfic thing, basically, is what it is. Okay, is there a difference between me enjoying Starfield as a Star Wars game and someone enjoying Dune not actually being a straight up Dune game? You know what I mean? Like, can they put it off to the side? If you're a fan of Dune, you just want to be in that Dune universe, right? Like, I just want to be in a Star Wars universe, and they've done that for me with mods.
All right, so I'll try to give you an example, right? So for the people that know the Dune universe, it's a smaller percentage of people, right? They read the books, they understand the story, they understand everything about it. understanding Dune as just an average person will not hold you as long as the average person just watching a Star Wars movie and being interested in it. It's not the same kind of people.
Right.
Like you could take average people and introduce them to Star Wars and they'll think the movie's cool and they'll watch it, but they're not going to go out and buy everything because they watch Star Wars.
Dune, you have to get in more involved into it.
Dune, either you understand Dune and you're in it, or you don't give a shit about it. All you're caring about is a survival game.
Yeah,
right?
Dune's very popular IP, right? Suicide Squads, Dave Langer's bringing up a good point. He says, look at the Backlash Suicide Squad. But I don't think that's because of the lore. I think it's because of what type of game, the looter, and what they've done to it. But Dune is up there in the upper echelon of IPs that people love. Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Star Trek.
Smaller group. It's a
but it's a very passionate group.
Yes. But the passionate group is going to call them out on the bullshit immediately if you just start throwing into the wind that we did all this. Oh, it's a dream. Don't worry about it. So, I believe there's a percentage of people that are like, this is cool. Survival game on Dune. How do I survive and do the rest of the stuff?
Try it out. See what it is. It's fun.
They're all about it. They want to know about it because now the average person who plays survival games, I don't think will have the connection with the story enough to want to spend their time on a desert planet trying to survive more than a couple weeks.
Right.
And after that, they're going to be like, I don't care.
Yeah, I think it'll have a surge in the beginning with streamers and content creators and a lot of people.
But the longevity? No.
A lot of people do it. Krebsy's saying they must have confidence in it if they plan to have 1,000-person servers, right?
They were all confident about Suicide Squad too.
I think you have the same type of process.
That's a DC. That's a DC IP.
I think you have the same type of process though as what happened in New World. New World was an MMO, and a lot of people got to play it, and then it died off real fast and that's a brand new IP. That's a brand new universe that they created. This is a universe that people love and want to be in, and now you're kind of giving them the fanfic of the thing.
I'm glad you think I saved you money, Dave, but I understand there are people out there who really enjoy survival games. They enjoy being put in that position and seeing if they can do it, right? That's why a lot of games have a survival a part of the game. But all I'm trying to tell you is if you don't know the IP, you don't really understand it, it's not a thing for you. You just think it as a survival game, you might like it. But I'll say this. Just wait a couple months and you'll get it for $10 or $20 and you want to try it.
I think this company did a really good job though with Conan, so they might do another good job with this IP. But Water brings up a good point. He says, well, I guess I'll only play Once Human as my survival game. Now, here's the thing. Once Human or any other survival game that comes out, it's a brand new game that's a MMO light or whatever. There's no lore there, so you're playing the game because you're interested in what they're telling you the story. Dune already has a baked-in fan base, and they're trying to capitalize on it, and then when they get there and they're like, well, what the fuck is this? That's when the heads will be turning. You know what I mean? Like, imagine they want to make a Warhammer survival game, but they change it up, and it doesn't actually happen in the Warhammer world. It's a offset or a what-if moment. Be like, why the fuck did you make it in Warhammer? Why don't you just make a standalone game? Because they use that name to get you into the actual...
Get you in.
Yeah, to get you in. So we'll see what happens. I hope the game is good. I do. I hope the game is good, but we'll see what happens. I want to talk about The Division, Sarge. Why is this so
I'll get to talk about
dark?
Division. All right, hang on.
Hold on. I don't know why this is...
Hang on.
Like
age. We're going to talk about Division.
There we go. Okay.
We're going to talk about Division.
Yeah, so... So those of you that don't know, The Division, we had to talk about it this morning on my stream, and I already went on my rant about this, okay? Division 2 players really hate the new shift in seasonal characters, okay? Now, I'm going to read it to you off of their actual site, okay? So those of you that don't know, one, endgame. Okay, the end game in Division 2, end game offers a wealth of content providing hundreds of hours of gameplay, okay? With the start of Season 6, Season 1, okay, well, first of all, Division 2 players, our goal is to bring all Division 2 players up to level 40, ensuring that everyone can fully enjoy the new content that we are developing, okay? So, obviously, we just talked about Elden Ring, right? Basically, that's what they did. They just said, fuck the end boss, just shove you up there, that you all can get to play the game because they want to make people to get more money, okay? With the start of Year 6, Season 1, all players can reach level 40 without owning the Warlords of New York expansion and get access to the past, future, and endgame content. meaning you still have to pay $40 for the DLC. You just get level 40 without playing that DLC. Okay. Season 2 2.0. Okay. Seasons were introduced in Division 2 in March of 2020. And with these releases of Warlords of New York, they have become a key aspect of the end game, yielding positive results in the strengthening players' engagement. However, after 4 years of this model, it has reached its limit, and we have gained valuable insight into what works and what doesn't work. And with each season, it has become a bit harder to bring the novelty to the surprises. To prepare for this, for the game's future, we need to reevaluate the season model and update it, and equip ourselves with the right tools to make this each season truly unique in Season 2.0. We'll offer an exciting mix of new gameplay elements, new story, rewards, presents, and fresh way to allow greater creativity and surprises. Okay, they're still doing a manhunt, right? They're doing the manhunt type of thing. They're doing player expression inside the thing as well, but what they're also doing is they're doing seasonal characters, okay? So to create and maintain a even fresher experience, each season will introduce a new set of gameplay modifiers, enabling new play styles, which they already do in the game, okay, challenges, and will require reevaluations and establishment of strategies and builds. At the end of the season, all hard-earned XP and rewards will be transferred to your main character, and seasonal characters will be added to your roster, okay? So I missed the first part of this, okay? It says that each season is met with experience from level 1, featuring a fully revamped, accelerated progression designed to swiftly guide players to the end game while gradually introducing all game mechanics to prepare them for level 40. Season will also offer flexible structures, allowing players to progress in ways of also providing clear guidance and serious objectives of projects that accompany the players throughout the progression. So you have to make a brand new character every season starting next season. So year 6, season 2, you're going to have to make a brand new character every time you want to play the next season or manhunt, whatever it is. And your character right now, Sarge, is what level? 2,000, almost 3,000?
22, I think it is. 2,200.
I would say
Something like that.
1,000 hours inside the game.
My watch is done, and I'm probably like 200 or 300 past that.
Right, and all your gear is leveled up to what you want. You unlocked all the
there is still exotics I don't have because I don't play where I get on and I look at the map and I go, okay, there's assault rifle, and just play that mission over and over again until I get the assault rifle. I like to wander around. I can't play the same thing over and over again. Like, I get more excited when the gun I want is in a zone, not a mission. Because at least I can just hang out in the zone and play the activities in the zone waiting for it to drop, as opposed to if the gun is on a mission, that means you got to keep doing the mission over and over again to farm. And I'm like, I don't have the patience for that. I can't look at the same level over and over again for hours. It makes me crazy.
Right. So what do you think about this, Sarge? Now, you never played seasonal characters in like Diablo. Like Diablo wasn't the thing for you. So what do you think about this seasonal character where you get to not play your main character after you put all this time and stuff in?
I first of all, I don't understand why the suits in the upper management think that if they copy pasta on their own games, it's going to fit into the same box. You're trying to put a round peg into the square hole, and you're going to force it there because reasons. Okay? The way that the gear works in Division is the fact that when you find a piece of gear, it has random attributes on it.
Right.
So first, you would have had to have played the game long enough to know what attributes you're looking for to make the build that you're doing.
Correct.
So when you get a good piece of gear and you're looking at like, cool, I found this gun I like, but I don't understand what the stats are because I don't know what kind of build I want yet because I'm learning the game. Right?
Right.
So after you play for, I don't know, 50 or 60 hours because you never played the game before and you figure out what stats equal what, when you finally get the gun and the armor together, what you're trying to do, and I know people said this earlier today, they're like, well, just get the best gun and you move on with yourself. Like, that's not how this works.
Right.
It's not like Destiny. You can make the
Any
gun
build
that
you want.
you can make the gun that you like fit into the thing that you want to do by putting on different pieces of gear for that gun to act the way you want it to.
Right.
Right? A gun has perks. The perks might not be fantastic, but if you find the other pieces of gear that coincide with that perk, then that gun becomes more valid. That's what made the game so much fun, is no matter what you were finding, you would level up the gun, put it in the closet, and be like, I'll come back to that later. I need to find some other things to go with that. And so you would find other pieces of gear and then try to pair them together. Are there gear sets? Yes.
Yes.
Can you wear the full gear set the way it is and just run with it?
Yep.
Yes. But the way I can explain it to you is, if you like SMGs, you just like the feel of SMGs, right? You don't care about assault rifles. You don't care about sniper rifles. You like SMGs. So you're just playing with SMG. And so you're playing the SMG, but you don't feel like you're doing a lot of damage, right? Because you're burning through a clip real quick, but you're not really doing a lot of damage, and you can't understand why. Well, it's because you just started playing the fucking game.
Right.
And so it takes time and research from playing the game to figure out that if I get this piece of gear and this piece of gear and this mod on my SMG, that it becomes a much more valid weapon to use, right? And then you start liking to use SMGs. That's not even counting the fucking skills that you have on the gear when you got the gear. They're trying to tell you now that every fucking season you are going to start from scratch. And I don't care if it's accelerated experience.
Right.
Do you realize how fucking long it took me to level up an expertise all the fucking categories in that game?
Right.
And you're going to tell me that we're going to start over from scratch, and not only start over from scratch, but we're going to get rid of the specializations, so you have to unlock that shit again too during the 15 weeks.
Right.
Get the fuck away from me.
I don't know if they said that, but you would assume that that's what's happening, right? Because if they're resetting your character every season, here's what I don't understand, right? I'm afraid what they're going to do is, in that season that you're doing with the new character, they're going to make you go. They're going to make you go down the meta. The meta would be like the gun, the pistol, the SMG, the AR, the LMG are all going to have the same type of perks on there. You're just going to pick what gun you like to use best, right? So you like using the pistol, you like using the SMG, then you could use those because those are going to have the same perks as, just like what's happening in Suicide Squads right now, where Joker gets a shotgun, and then you could use that shotgun on the other person, but they have the same benefits. It doesn't matter if it's a pistol or a shotgun; it all has the same stuff. This is terrible because if this season, let's say, is flame build, and then all of a sudden everything in that season has a flame build, and you need flame build because the boss at the end of this season is a flame, right? You have to have flame to do damage to him. They're forcing you to go down this path of, this is what the meta is this season, instead of me going, I have a build where I want to do MLG and I want to melt this dude because my build's a yellow bar build. I melt yellow bars. I'm not a tank. I'm not a tech guy. You tell me yellow bar, right side of the screen. I'm like, brrr, and it melts the guy. That's my job, right? Now I don't get to do that job anymore. I have to do what they're telling me to do because that's fun.
Everybody's the same.
All right, everyone has to do the exact same.
Everybody's at the same time. Explain to me why you want everybody on the same level in a PvE game. Explain it to me. Explain to me. Somebody explain it to me. What are the benefits of everybody starting every season doing the exact same shit over again that they did fucking 2 to 5 years ago? Like, explain it to me.
So here's the way you're gonna have to play the game now. Are you ready? Because the way Division's built and the way the systems are in and the way they have targeted loot, if you want the certain build, you're just gonna. If I want the LMG that I want, I'm just gonna go to the section where LMGs are, and I'm gonna run LMGs all day long until I get the LMG that I want. Then I'm going to have to take the thing and then put all the stuff that I want, which I could just do if I'm playing my character and just bring it into the game. But they're like, no, we don't want you to play your character because you'll just melt everything. Everything scales with you. Everything in the game scales with you.
Everything scales with you.
So
what the fuck
you're
does
not
that
making
mean?
it. You're not making it harder because I'm level 1 to 40. If I'm level 3,000, I'm going up against level 3,000. Right? That's what it is. They're always scaled to me no matter what I do. And then based on my build, I'm melting them faster because of the way my perks and the way that right? And I hate this. I hate that they're making this change 5 years into the game. We're not talking about, oh yeah, it just came out last week and people just put a couple of hours in. No, people are level 10,000, 23,000. And they're like, the Reddit thing that we saw today, guy was like, I put in 1,500 hours into this game, and now for what? So I could be a new character? And here's the best part. At the end here, it says, at the end of each season, all your hard-earned XP rewards will be transferred to your main character, while seasonal characters will be added to your roster. For what? What? If I have to make a new character for next season, why do I need all this stuff to go to my other character when I can never play that character because I'm always playing the next new season? It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Explain it to me.
If they want to do the Dark Zone, it's so easy to fix it for the Dark Zone. All they have to do is make everyone even playing field when you go in the Dark Zone, and then just change the Dark Zone.
You find the weapons in the Dark Zone.
Right, you just change the Dark Zone.
When you walk into the Dark Zone, you have nothing, and you're finding weapons in the Dark Zone, and you fight each other. Like, that would make sense.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Just like they did the survival back in Division 1.
Which was one of the best things about Division.
Best mode they've ever made, yes.
But they took it out of DC because there's no winter, so...
Yeah, they can't have snow, and yeah.
Like it doesn't snow in DC? No. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, it's not like it's Florida. You could still put the snow in DC and make it a survival game. It would have been no problem. Now let's go backwards just for a moment. Let's just think like a Sioux for a minute. I know it's hard for us because we're not that big of a dick. So when you're trying to make a game, when you're trying to put the round peg in the square hole, what's the actual end game here? So if everybody's the same and you're re-leveling again, is it because it's going to take longer to do the missions? Is it because nobody in the season is going to have the same kind of gear, like cosmetics? So you're going to buy cosmetics for a character that you're not going to see after 10 weeks, and then start another character that has no cosmetics? Is that the game? Is the game to drop some cosmetics in the game, so buy them for a character that you're not going to even fucking play after 10 weeks?
I have no idea.
What is the end game of this fucking mentality? What is starting over every fucking 10 weeks supposed to mean? What does that do for you?
It does nothing but lose the player base that has been playing the game for the last 5 years, right? When they say level the player field for new players, I don't understand that. It's a PvE game.
What's it?
And even if you were level 1 and I'm level 40, they scale to you. They scale to you. It doesn't.
That was the whole point of the game. It scales.
It makes no sense.
I will give them this much. I'll give them this much. You ready? When you play on Legendary,
yep.
Right? The guys are scaled to a certain point on Legendary. Now, the smallest percentage of people who play a specific game or specific build that they've been working on, if you keep feeding in to the same gun over and over and over again, right? Even though you're at the same level, when you're at that max level, when you inch out your game, your damage past that point, you're actually doing more damage in scale than the rest of the guys would be, because you've spent the time 5 fucking years putting points into the gun. So it'll say on your gun, it'll say expertise, and it'll say like plus, like I saw one guy, plus 25%. Now, just to throw it out there, in order to get your exotic gun to have a plus 25% expertise level, you have to put in thousands.
Yeah, thousands of hours. Thousands of hours.
Thousands of hours. Now, once again, very small percentage, very small, of that guy walking into a legendary match by himself and just wrecking face because he spent, let's hear it,
the time
to do it. So now you're telling me the guy who spent the most time in your game
is punished,
did all the videos on how telling other people how to get this gear, how to do this kind of thing, and how to spend your time wisely, and you told that guy to go fuck himself, right? That's basically what you told him. So then here's what I say, Ubisoft. You change all the games you want. You make all your games you say, your little white-haired demon CEO who wants to make all the games as service and do the same shit across the board. You do what you, buddy. You do you. But when your player base drops like a fucking rock because you changed the game that had nothing wrong with it, you spent 5 years fixing it so it would be the game that it was, and then you're gonna fucking throw it in the toilet because you're gonna follow some roadmap that some fucking suit who's never played the fucking game to tell me how to fucking play.
Sarge, breathe, Sarge. Sarge's about to have a heart attack. Yeah, to me,
bullshit.
Yeah, it's idiotic. It's idiotic for me to change the game for the high percent of players that have been supporting the game the entire time, right? I don't understand. Yeah, it's stupid. And you know what? This
will be the last 10 weeks I play this game.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. I was just about to say that. Right?
This is the last 10 weeks I'll play this game.
Yeah, this is the last season that you'll see me and Sarge play unless they make the change. If they make the change and go forward with this, I'm done with Division 2. Because if you're not, you guys always know, when I talk about video games and talk about looters and stuff, respect the player's time. Just like Sarge just ranted, for 5 years, they converted this game to respect the player's time. They made it where you can loot the stuff and do a targeted loot. They made it the best. It was the best. We talked about it all the time. This is the best game to be, where you can get the stuff and it respects your time, because we all have lives. We all have jobs. We all have different things, right? So you spend your time and you know what you can do. 2 hours a week, I can loot. I can just try to get these guns. But now they're like, fuck you. Fuck all the stuff. Fuck your time. Fuck your respect. And they just throw it out the window and say, you're going to make a new character because Diablo's doing it, because this other game is doing it. Yeah, but they were built differently than what this game is. This game is not built like that, and you're changing it. So that'll be it for Division if they don't change it. So the last story, Sarge, since we always talk about AI, right? We always talk about AI stuff in here. Okay. There's this program that came out yesterday. Okay. When we talk about Photoshop and where you type into Dolly, right? Or Leonardo, or whatever the hell it is, or Da Vinci, or any of these other AI programs. You type some words in, and a picture shows up, okay? They've taken this to the next level, okay? Chat, I want to do a little thing here, okay? I want you guys to give me, like we did for the AI art, I want you to put some sentences, and what I see, right? Like write a quick sentence, a description of something, okay? Put something in chat. I'll pick what I think is right. All of you guys, put in something guy walking on beach, girl, keep it clean.
Anything.
Keep it clean, okay? Obviously. All right, but I want to take one of your sentences, and I'm going to post it into this thing, and we're going to see the magic that it makes.
A couple of them. Make it mix a couple of them. Of course,
right? So we're going to show you this thing called the Dream Machine, okay? It comes from lumalabs.ai, okay? Where you take text and it turns it into video, okay? It takes text and turns it into video, okay? Man with 4 legs walking up a wall for a water. Fields of clovers in Iowa. Okay, hold on. Let me get to this. Let's get man with 4 legs walking up a wall. Okay, we're gonna take that part. We're gonna put that in.
Wall of water.
No, I'm only taking the piece.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm only taking the piece, okay, of water, okay? Then I'm going to take fields of clovers in Iowa. We're going to take that, and we're going to put that in there. So man with 4 legs walking up a wall. How about walking in fields of clovers in Iowa, okay? We got a small Japanese girl with 10-foot lollipop riding surfboard. I mean, that's good, Sarge. That's good. Okay, so how about a man and small Japanese girl with 10-foot lollipop riding a surfboard with 4 legs walking in a field of clovers in Iowa, right? This sounds good, okay? I think this is a good one. I think, all right, let's see. I'm going to hit enter here and see what happens, okay? Now, while this loads, okay, it's going to take 120 seconds for this to happen. Okay, it's just thinking. Right, I'm going to show you. It's just thinking there. It's just spinning around. It's thinking. Well, let's see what it does. Let's see what it does for what it puts together. Okay. Now, obviously, it's AI, so a lot of things could go wrong. Could have 7 fingers on one hand or whatnot. But the fact is that technology, has gone from still pictures to motion capture, right? Of movie making, basically, of what it is absolutely insanity. I don't know if you guys know this, right? So let me show you some of the stuff. We'll wait for this one to be complete before, and then I'll show you some of the. But Sarge, do you understand what's happening right now? Right? Do you understand?
It's a little scary, but yeah, I understand.
Do you understand that right now? I don't even need Hollywood. if I'm a good script writer and know how to really
A good writer. A good
Right.
writer.
right, a good writer, and I can really put descriptions in and really make the scene pop. Okay, I could write a movie and have the movie done by just typing text in a little bar. Okay, which is absolutely insanity. Okay, so now just talking like Starfield, right? Someone made a mod for Starfield to turn it into Star Wars. We could make Star Wars, Sarge. We could recreate Star Wars with AI if you've done it correctly, and you could put Mark Hamill's face in there, and you could do all these other stuff, and you can recreate episodes 7, 8, and 9 and the way it should have been. This, if no one uses AI for anything good, let's use it for this, right? Let's do it for this. Okay, it's still thinking, it's still going on. Okay. Let me show you one of the things that we did. Me and my son just put a sentence in. Okay, this is the sentence. The sentence is Kylo Ren shooting lightning out of his fingers with black smoke behind him. Okay, now obviously it's not the best, but this is a guy that looks like Kylo Ren shooting lightning out of his hands, shooting a whole bunch of other like Darth Vader type of guys with black smoke behind him. Okay, this is just the sentence right here. That's it. Kylo Ren shooting.
That's one sentence.
One sentence, and it made this right here. Okay. If you don't think that's if you don't think that is insanity, okay, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, here it is. Here's our yeah. Here is our.
I'm concerned.
Here's our movie.
I'm concerned right now.
Okay, this is a man and small Japanese girl with 10-foot lollipop. It's not a lollipop. It's more of a surfboard lollipop. Riding a surfboard with 4 legs walking in a field of clovers in Iowa. I mean, that's pretty goddamn good. Right? Okay.
I mean,
right?
That's one sentence.
That's a sentence that we put in, and it made it like a Japanese animation of 3 people, right, walking in a field of clovers in Iowa with a surfboard. Okay, I think that's pretty goddamn impressive. Okay, again, we know nothing how this actually works yet and how detailed you can be.
Wait, I have a good one, bro. Type this one.
All right, let me go back. Let me go back to here.
Right.
All right.
Oh, hang on. You ready?
Okay.
All right. Skeletal robot with laser gun shooting a PC and exploding the room.
Well, this is skeleton. Okay, skeleton robot with laser gun.
Skeletal robot.
Yeah, robot with laser gun.
With laser gun, shooting a PC and blowing up the room, or exploding. Either one, blowing up the room or exploding. Try to type that one.
Skeleton robot with laser gun shooting a PC. All right, say it one more time.
Yeah, skeletal robot.
Hold on, I backed out. Okay, skeleton robot.
Yeah, skeletal robot.
Yep.
With a laser gun.
With a laser gun.
Yep. Shooting a PC.
Okay, hold on, comma. Shooting a PC.
Shooting a PC. And blowing up the room.
Okay. Shooting a PC. And exploding the room.
Yeah, let's see that one.
Okay. All right, let's click this.
Because we need a slide for when we talk about AI stuff, and I think that would be the perfect slide.
I'm gonna put in it. I'm gonna hit enter twice because I want to see what it does. So we're gonna have 2 videos. Okay, we're gonna have 2 videos as it's processing. Okay.
Now remember, the things that we're watching now, this is the shittiest it will ever be.
Right, this is the shittiest. Let me actually show you what the shittiest looks like. Right, these are on the actual site that they're showing. Okay, these are videos of people text. Remind you, this is text to video. Okay, right. This is text to video. Look at what we're watching here. Okay, these are videos of people that made. Okay,
you can make your own movie, bro.
Yeah, this is text to video. Polar bear walking through a snowy forest. You got people with like wraps on their head with balloons. You got a guy on a snowmobile. Okay, like this stuff. This is insane of what you can do with this technology. Okay.
Movie theaters are done, bro.
Well, I don't think they're done because now studios will hire people that are good writers, hopefully, and then this is what you get, right? You could actually get a whole movie done for a lot less, right? No, you don't have to go places. You don't even have to do CGI anymore, right? All you got to do now is get voice actors and whatnot to do the voicing for your characters and stuff, right? Now,
it's incredible.
I don't know how that's going to work. Okay, it's insane. Sorry, Water says put it in general. Okay, hold on 1 second.
I think it's incredible, but at the same time, I think it's terrifying all at the same time.
Dream Machine, Luma. Okay, Dream Machine is an AI that makes high quality, realistic videos fast from the next text images from Luma AI. Yeah, that's what we're on. You just sent me. Oh, what is this? Oh, you did this. Water just did this and sent it to us. Okay. He says Water Bear Demons. This is what it made with just his basically name. Look at this is what fucking nightmares are made of. Okay. Congratulations. You're a director, producer, and this is your own film. You can put this in Cannes Film Festival.
The fuck am I looking at, bro? I'm gonna have fucking nightmares for that shit.
Right? Let me go back to my videos and see what we got here. Okay. All right, we got 2 of them. Okay. Here's movie number 1. Okay. Skeleton robot with laser gun shooting a PC screen, exploding the room. Okay, this is what we got. Okay. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It did exactly what we asked. Skeleton robot with laser gun shooting a PC screen and exploding the room.
This is fucking crazy.
Okay, and then let's go to number 2.
This is fucking crazy.
Let's go to number 2. Number 2 is this right here. Skeleton robot with laser gun, comma, shooting a PC and exploding the room.
Oh, it was a comma?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Right? That's
just from a comma?
That is amazing. Okay. Now I know a lot of you guys don't look at this and go, "Oh, big fucking whoop."
This is insane, dude.
This is the worst it will ever be. Okay. Again, if we go back to the Dream Machine here, okay. If we go back to the Dream Machine, look at the things that people are producing, and this has been out for a day. This has been out for 24 hours. It just went live yesterday. Okay. And people are making this shit. And I don't mean shit like shit bad, like shit like this shit's awesome. Okay. Okay. I'm going to be up all night. Well, don't worry. If you're the free membership that you sign up for this,
you want to get 30 a month.
30 a month. Okay. Now,
all you get.
I want you to look at the pricing of this a little bit, right? The pricing to this for, where is it? Generation. Where? Generation.
I'm going to type in some sick shit before I go to bed.
It goes up from free to like $30 to up to like $400 a month, right? Like if you're a business. But let me tell you, this is some awesome stuff, because if you are a filmmaker, if you're a person that you're just a good writer, and you don't have the money to afford to pay someone to do the storyboards and film these things, you could literally take your stuff. Now, obviously, it's better if you use non-IP stuff, right? But you could make whatever you want. But if you have a story that you want to tell and you want to make a story, you can do it. Okay?
Yeah.
1 per day? Yeah. That is? Yeah. 1 more day isn't bad. Right. And if you think about it, it's 120 frames, right? So you're looking at this as 120 frames. So again, 120 frames for this robot. And now if I could fine tune this just like you can for the AI for the artwork, for pictures, if I could take this and then hone in on it and then write it again, right? So I make this character, I take this character, put him in a different scene, and so on and so forth. So I can make this robot, jump on a train and save a girl from a bad guy or whatever, and just keep doing this. it's going to be phenomenal to see what people come up with. And I think, I think it's crazy. I was just listening to Elon Musk, Sarge. He just had his Tesla conference, whatever, right?
Shareholder
stuff, right? And he was talking about in 2 years, someone asked him a question because he has a thing coming out called Optimus, I think it is. It's the AI robot stuff. And he says that the AI within the next 2 years, we will have basically like the Jetsons robot in our house. Okay. We'll have Rosie in the house that will do tasks for us and cook us dinner. And he says it will start coming in the next 2 years. Right.
And iRobot, you guys are going to walk right into it.
Yeah. And he says it's going to be pretty impressive what's going to happen in the next decade. Right. Exponentially. It's going to go. So that's going to do it for episode 400 of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. 400 episodes are in the can. We do appreciate you very much for coming out and hanging out with us each and every single week. We do this on Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. We do live streams, Monday through Thursday here, 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We do play games on Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. We do Shooting Shit with Charge on Wednesday night. We play either, Battlefield or Division for the next 10 weeks or whatever, and that'll be it for that. Other than that, you can come to this podcast or our morning show. We do uploads and whatnot. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out with us, and see you guys on the next one.
Game on, guys.
They're two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.